Hello, fellow Movie Crusaders. Welcome to our latest episode. My name is Sean Wasker. As always, is Brian Michaels. The summer movie season is over. We are now heading into fall/end of the year. And Brian and I are here to talk about every single movie that's coming out. Not every single one, but at least the ones we want to talk about. This is something that we do now. This is something weird. We didn't always plan on doing this. We're like, hey, you want to talk about the rest of the films? Sure. And now we do beginning of the year. We do summer. Now we do fall.
Well, because summer obviously is going to have its own thing. At the beginning of the year, half the stuff coming out now, we didn't know anything about it. So It's like we want now there are ones we're anticipating, there are ones we want to talk about, and so this is our chance. I would give you guys a preview of maybe stuff you weren't aware of. It's like I love, one of the things I love doing is when I bring up movies that Sean hasn't even heard of, and I put something on his radar, and it makes me feel good. I hope to do that for other people too.
Let's put it this way: our last 2-3 years, our movie of the year has been movies that we did not know existed at the start of the year, and we just stumbled upon them, or they got announced around this time. We're like, oh, this might be really good, and then ended up being fucking great. So this is why we do that, because like I said, even looking at what we've got right now that we're going to talk about, maybe 10 of these movies we knew were maybe coming out this year. Back in January, we did the full year deal. And everything else is stuff that just randomly pops up. So yes, that's why we do this. And there's some movies
too, because I know in previous years, in the last couple of years, we've talked about how Halloween time, there seems to be missed opportunities. They don't want to release horror movies for some reason. A lot of them. There is so much horror coming out in the next couple of months. It's insane.
There's honestly between the last couple weeks to October, it's like, okay, we're dumping all the horror movies now. And it's like, wait. With streaming and shit, this stuff's not even going to be out when Halloween comes out. It'll already be out home on digital. You still got to get the people in the fucking theaters for Halloween. Yeah. But trust me, we've got a big Halloween film coming out. Whether it's going to be wide released or if it's going to be hidden like it was when the sequel came out, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and get this thing underway. Our first big movie is next Friday, which is Beetlejuice. I think you and I were both in agreement. We saw the first trailer for this, and we both were just kind of like, okay, it's a thing. It's coming out. We then got a second trailer, a more story-driven trailer, and I think you and I both were like, okay, all right.
I'm more interested now than I was. I will still say that I don't love Beetlejuice the way a lot of other people seem to. I used to, back in the day when it first came out, I loved Beetlejuice. In the years since then, I'm like, I still enjoy it, but I'm not super excited about this movie. But I will say this new trailer has me a little more excited than the last one did. And it's something that I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I watched Beetlejuice all the time when I was a kid, just because it was always on TV or the VHS or whatever. And then I watched Beetlejuice, the animated series, when it was on, not religiously, but it was not the point of going, oh yeah, Beetlejuice is on, cool. I don't love Beetlejuice like I'm so excited for this. Honestly, more times than not, Beetlejuice 2 was always a movie that my non-movie intelligent friends, I don't mean that in a negative way, just people who are in the know like Brian and I are, whenever they would post these stupid fake trailers, it was always Beetlejuice. It was always fucking Beetlejuice. And people would send it to me and go, is this real? No, it's not fucking real. This trailer or this part of this movie is from this movie and this movie. This is basically 18 movies clipped into one to make it look like Beetlejuice. It's not fucking real. And it was always fucking Beetlejuice. So it was always that movie that was teased that it was going to happen, but was never actually going to happen. And now it fucking finally is getting released in a week. I like the cast. I like the way it looks. I'm actually not highly anticipated, but I am excited to see this.
It definitely captured the feel of the original one too.
Yes. And I'm not expecting to fucking love this. I'm expecting to go, no, that was good. If I get that vibe from it, then it succeeded what it was trying to do. And if it's just the bar is not that high, so if I don't on it, then it's not gonna be good. But I'm not putting it up that high on the spell. But I am excited to see it. What else is coming out that Friday? Anything?
The only other thing I have is actually not even theatrical. It's on Netflix. There's a movie called Rebel Ridge. This is a movie directed by Jeremy Saulnier, who did Green Room and a couple other films like that. He just does a lot of dark, gritty crime kind of movies. It stars Aaron Pierre, who I don't really familiar with him. Don Johnson's in it. James Cromwell, Anna Sophia Robb. It's a former Marine confronts corruption in a small town when local law enforcement unjustly seizes the bag of cash he needs to post his cousin's bail. it just looks like a good kind of crime gritty action thing on Netflix. But other than that, there's nothing else this week. So.
I mean, we already have had a movie like this come out this year, and that was Trigger Warning. Pretty much to a T.
Yeah,
but I think
well, I like this director though. He's done a lot of good stuff, and James Badge Dale is in it. I always will go see anything he's in. So I think this one will be far better than Trigger Warning, because I think Trigger Warning is trying to be almost more of an action film. This is just kind of a gritty crime thing. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like this movie's gonna suck, but I'm just saying like this sounds a lot like Trigger Warning, and that was one of the worst films of the year. But I'm expecting the actors in this to be better than what Trigger Warning was. So yeah, those are the first two films coming out September 6th. What are we looking at for on the 13th?
September 13th. The big one for me at least is Killer's Game. This is the one with Dave Bautista and I always forget her name.
Sophia Patella.
Thank you, Sophia Patella. like the mummy chick, whatever her name was.
Mummy chick.
Yeah, this is the one where he like.
Kingsman women.
He's an assassin who thinks that he gets some diagnosis that he thinks he's going to die, so he wants to be taken out by an assassin. And then when he finds out it was a mistake, of course he tries to call it off, but everybody's trying to kill him. This one, I just love the fact that I love the cast. This one, I believe Pom Klementif is in it as well.
She is. She's the one that he puts the contract on him, and then she won't take it off.
And I love seeing those two together, of course. It's one of those movies that it's not going to win any Oscars awards like that, but it's got a cast of people I love, and it's action with a little bit of comedy in there. So that's the one I'm kind of most excited for that week.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it. I like the cast. Hopefully Scott Adkins is not wearing a giant fat suit in this, so I can actually look at him and not want to punch my screen. But yeah, also Terry Crews, Ben Kingsley, they're in this. I like them. Obviously, Pom. I think you and I both want Pom to get bigger since Guardians, and we thought she was great in Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, but she didn't really talk in that. This one, she definitely is talking. So I'm excited to see what she does with this. And Sophia Boutella, she's always an actress that I think we both want to see do good, but Rebel Moon. You either like it, you don't like it. I have not seen the director's cut, so I can't really, say, oh yeah, it's actually really good. You have, but she really didn't win me over in the theatrical cut of Rebel Moon. But yeah, Bautista, we both like Bautista, and I would prefer him more in this than like My Spy, where he's doing like family comedy. So I'd rather more have like an R-rated comedy kind of thing with him still doing the action. So this one is definitely something that I'm excited to see. I'm not like, once again, just like Beetlejuice, I'm not like moving the needle of excitement level for it, but I definitely have something that I do want to check this out. What else we got on the 13th?
Next up, we have My Old Ass. This is Aubrey Plaza. Basically, like this young teenage girl starts seeing the older version of herself, like from the future, essentially coming back and kind of trying to tell her, like, hey, you need to change this in your life, and don't hang around with this guy and things like that. It's a dramedy. It seems perfect for Aubrey Plaza's kind of a style of humor, and the trailers actually have me very interested in seeing this one. This one looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I watched the trailer, and it was one of those. It's like it's one of those that it's gonna come out, and it's not going to be in my area, and then I'm going to completely forget about it. And then it's going to be 6 months down the road, and I'm going to see it pop up on like Vudu or something, or sorry, Fandango at home. I'll be like, oh yeah, this came out. Like I said, I'm intrigued by it, but this is probably one of the ones that's going to fall under the radar for me. And then either you're going to have to remind me of it, or I'm going to stumble upon it on like Netflix one day and go, oh sure, I'll watch this and see what it is. Go ahead.
Also have Speak No Evil, which I'll be happy to see that come out just so I can stop seeing the trailer every fucking time I go see a movie.
Yeah. This is the latest. I can't remember the last one. I'm glad I can't remember the last one, where literally you could not go to a theater for the next 2 months without seeing the damn kid. Thing.
Every single movie I see, they play this trailer. Yeah.
Every doesn't matter what rating that movie is, you're going to get a Speak No Evil trailer. And the thing is, I really like the cast. You got James McAvoy. You got Scoot. Is it Scoot McNairy?
Mm-hmm.
McNairy. Yeah, and
Scoot
then you got Mackenzie Davis. 3 people that we enjoy the hell out of. But oh my god, the trailer is making me not want to see this movie at all. I just almost want to avoid it. So because I'm so sick of seeing the damn trailer. I maybe will check it out eventually, but oh my
I'll
god,
probably go see it. I'm not thrilled about it, but I think that part of it is just because I've been seeing the trailer so much, which kind of killed my anticipation. But based on the cast alone, I'm going to see this one. It should be good.
There's a good way
We
and
also
right way
have
to market a movie. This is the wrong way to market a movie.
we also have the 4:30 movie from Kevin Smith, which
I
could
am
be
probably
funny, could be crap. Kevin Smith is so hit and miss these
Well,
days.
hold on though. Is this gonna have an actual theatrical release, or is it gonna be one of those traveling Kevin Smith theatrical releases where it's only out for like a weekend and then it like travels around?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a traveling thing. I don't know if it's getting a super wide release or if it's just like limited, or maybe limited, like maybe just for a weekend. I don't know, things like that. But it is getting a nationwide release. It's not just doing the traveling thing.
It's not doing like the Clerks 3 thing where it's like you have like a weekend to see it, and if you didn't see it,
I can't tell you for sure on that. I don't know.
Okay, because I actually did like the trailer for this. I was intrigued enough by it to go, hey, okay, it's not Jay and Silent Bob or Clerks, but I'm intrigued to check this out. I like the trailer more than Brian did. But yeah, I'm definitely open to seeing this one. I have to say, out of the 3 films, if I have to go see one in theaters, I'll probably go see 4:30 because there's not a good chance I'll get to see it any other weekend except then. Where Killer's Game will probably pop up on like Peacock in a month, and Speak No Evil will probably pop up on like Max or something in 2 months. The only other thing I see is the movie that we made fun of profusely when the trailer dropped, and that is Netflix's Uglies.
Uglies
comes out. If you want to hear our thoughts on that film, watch the last Movie Crusaders chat about. We went at this movie hard, and we're not going to waste time talking about it here because we have too many other movies to talk about. But yeah, that comes out. Let's go to next week, September 20th. What do we got?
20th, I got a whole lot of small stuff for the most part, and then a couple big ones. I'll get to the small ones. Way. There's a horror thriller called Bagman. I think Sam Claflin.
I watched the trailer for it. It didn't really do much for me.
Didn't do much for me.
Honestly, it's those kinds of movies that tend to surprise you, like Boogeyman the last year. The trailer didn't do much, but it fucking was one of my favorite horrors of the year. So maybe Bagman, maybe it'll be good, or maybe it'll just suck.
Yeah, there's a movie that I think this is probably just like super limited and VOD released at the same time. It's called Long Gone Heroes. This is with Frank Grillo and Josh Hutcherson, Mekhi Phifer, a few other people, about a special forces soldier who's given up on country, religion, and even hope, must return to the field of battle to track down a reporter he left behind. Blah 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 blah. But I like Frank Grillo. Josh Hutcherson has kind of redeemed himself in my eyes in the last few years. I really kind of root for him. I don't know if the movie's going to be any good, and like I said, it's probably just going to be a VOD thing. So I just kind of brush that one aside. The Substance is another going to be a small release. It's Demi Moore. I think Margaret Qualley's in it. It's like a weird kind of
and Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
I watched this trailer this morning actually, and I was going.
Don't quite know exactly what it's going to be, but I'm intrigued enough to check that one out.
That is probably the biggest word I can use. Intriguing. It could be something unique and different and actually work really well, or it's just going to be one of those that just comes out and you blink, you miss it, it's gone kind of thing.
Yeah. Actually, on Saturday, it's actually Saturday, and then the following Wednesday, like those Fathom events things. There's a documentary, Super/Man. That's the Christopher Reeve documentary.
I watched that trailer this morning as well.
It's got people bawling their eyes out and things like that. The trailer just dropped, I think, this week.
Yeah.
That's something I doubt I'll check it out in theaters. I saw the trailer. I was like, okay.
It'll pop up on Max before we know it, and we can just watch it
pop up somewhere. But that one is supposed to be a really good documentary, so keep an eye out for that one. And then there's 2 major films that week. One of them is Transformers 1, which I know Sean is far more interested in me. Go ahead, Sean.
Honestly, I'm so excited for this. Everything I keep watching, I'm loving. I'm loving what this is doing. Brian, it kind of lost it when I think after the first trailer, when, animated and all this kind of stuff. Not that you're a hater on animated.
Not just animated. It has that like daytime kids TV show animation feel to it.
It's got a great cast behind it. This is actually one of my more anticipated films.
I hope I hear it's great and I go and see it and I love it too. And actually, I'll probably watch it at some point, but we'll see.
The more stuff I keep seeing, the more little snippets and clips and stuff that I see, the more I'm going, I went from like, to hell yeah, I can't wait to see this. I'm actually generally excited for this movie. It's one of my more anticipated films of the year. And then you said there was one other big release.
The last one for that week is Wolves. This is directed. What?
I got another one. Well,
oh,
like I said, Brian and I are apparently using 2 different release
well,
dates.
that's things. I check like 5 and 6 different sources, and plus I try and keep an eye on the release date changes because things like move all the time.
Yeah, because like my website has Bagman next week, and then I've got Never Let Go.
I think Bagman just moved like this past week.
Okay, I've got Never Let Go coming out on the 20th. The Halle Berry.
I have Never Let Go. Oh, I did have Never Let Go. I'm sorry, that one I accidentally skipped over. Yeah.
Okay, and that got a new trailer this week too.
They just dropped their second trailer, and that one actually looks really good. I mean,
the first trailer did nothing for either one of us because it was like this looks like another like Bird Box kind of Quiet Place kind of thing. This second trailer though, this is not that at all.
It looks creepy as shit.
It looks really good,
and of course really we like Halle Berry. You know, so I mean, I'm always for a good kind of new kind of take on horror and stuff like that. And while it does still look like that same kind of Quiet Place, Bird Box kind of thing, it looks like this one might actually be good. And so this new trailer has definitely sold me on that one.
Yeah, I was not prepared to like it. I was not prepared to be any excitement for it, but I watched it and I was like, oh, okay. I'm here now. I'm listening to you. I got you. It's not like going to break my top 10 for anticipated, but it definitely has me to the point where it's like, I do want to check this out at some point. Whether it's that weekend or whether it's in the following weeks, this trailer that they dropped this week did what it was supposed to do, and it made me intrigued to want to check it out. Where the first one, this thing would have just gone by and I wouldn't have paid attention to it. Now I actually do really want to check this out.
And then, of course, Wolves, which is an Apple production. I think it was going to get a wide release, and now it's getting a limited release, and then going to Apple TV a couple weeks later. Yeah. So, but this one is obviously it's George Clooney and Brad Pitt. It's got an action comedy kind of thing to it. It looks a lot of fun. It's directed by John Watts, I believe, the guy behind like the most recent Spider-Man trilogy. So I think that one's going to be good.
They supposedly dropped a new trailer this week. I watched it. It's the same fucking trailer that was like.
I haven't seen a new one, but I probably wouldn't watch it if they did. So
yeah, they dropped it like I think it was like 10 days ago, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's something new. No, it's the same fucking trailer. And it's like there's not a single new.
But now it has a new date on it.
Yeah, exactly. It has a new date on it, and I was like, there's nothing new about this. It's the same damn trailer. Like every single spot of what that first trailer was is the exact same thing. This one, like I said, the trailer doesn't really do anything for me, but Clooney and Brad Pitt together, I'm already there. John Watts, very capable director. We both loved his Spider-Man trilogy. So add those 3 in, and then you have kind of the rest of the cast around them. I'm worth checking this out. Whether I go see it in theaters or whether I wait a week and watch it on Apple TV, which is probably what I'm going to do. That's the only thing for me is I don't really care enough to go see this in theaters, especially with like Transformers 1 and Never Let Go coming out. But I definitely will probably be checking this out when it drops on Apple in the following week.
Is that all you have for this week?
I mean, there's a bunch of things, but not anything that like stands out to me outside of what we already talked about.
Okay.
Except for like, so you said Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, but that was the next day. And like I said, the 27th for me, I've got Bagman. I got a couple other things. So let me see what you got before I say anything.
We'll have on Thursday, the 26th, is an Amazon movie called Killer Heat, which there's no trailer or anything for this yet. This is a crime romance starring Richard Madden, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Shailene Woodley. Again, there's no trailer or anything, so I don't really know a whole lot more about that.
That's not even on my list. So I don't even know. Same thing with the Frank Grillo one. That wasn't even on mine. So I was like, I don't know what the hell this is.
Yeah. That one's on Amazon Prime. But then on the 27th, we have Amber Alert, which actually I saw the trailer. I think this one actually looks good. Yeah, it looks like Cellular, but without the comedy to it. I mean, Cellular wasn't a comedy, but there was like definitely lighter moments.
Or a bad thing. Yeah, I watched the trailer for this earlier this week. I was like, but by the end of it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It kind of has a Cellular kind of thriller feel to it. It's got Hayden Panettiere, and I don't remember the guy's name.
I'll pull it up real quick. Oh, God. Everybody Hates Chris.
He's on Elementary.
Yeah, he's on Elementary right now. Tyler James Williams.
Thank you.
Which
Um,
I love him as an actor. He's a great actor.
Again, this
Which
is
makes
one
me
that I think
mad
is
that I
going
didn't
to
know his name.
theaters. It might be. It kind of has a VOD feel to it. So, but I think it's going to theaters. I can't say 100% sure.
I don't. I do not think I'll get it in my theaters.
But
So
this is
I'll have
one
to
that
wait.
I thought I would never have cared about based on I looked at the cast and stuff. I'm like, it's whatever. But the trailer actually had me kind of hooked on it.
And
There's
I really like Hannah Panettiere. So anything that she's in, I want her to succeed. So I hope this actually is really good.
There's also on Paramount Plus has Apartment 7A, which is a prequel to Rosemary's Baby. So I don't give a shit about it because I didn't care about Rosemary's Baby.
The only thing that makes me give a rat's ass about this is I love the lead, which is Julia Garner. Which for anyone who watched Ozark, she's a fucking dynamo in that show. She won like 2 or 3 Emmys based off of that show alone. So I love her as an actress. That would be the only reason that I would give this even a remote chance to watch. And like I said, I have not watched the trailer for this yet. I think they dropped the trailer today for it, but I have not checked it out yet. But yeah, the only reason I would check it out is because of Garner.
There is also probably the movie I'm most anticipating for this week. It's called Azrael. This is a movie starring Samara Weaving. It's directed by E.L. Katz, which hasn't done much except he was one of the co-directors of House of Bly Manor along with Mike Flanagan. He's like one of Mike Flanagan's guys. It's apparently taking place kind of this almost post-apocalyptic world where apparently there's no dialogue. There's no speaking in this movie. Brief description. In a world where no one speaks, a devout female hunts down a young woman who has escaped her imprisonment. Recaptured by its ruthless leaders, Azrael is due to be sacrificed to pacify an ancient evil deep within the surrounding wilderness. I heard the synopsis and just saw Samara Weaving, and I was interested. I saw the trailer. I'm even more interested. So this is the one I'm most looking forward to for this week.
I think I saw a thumbnail of the trailer, and I just kind of skimmed over it and didn't watch it. But yeah, I might go back and rewatch this trailer after we're done shooting here. Because yeah, we both like Samara Weaving. I think I didn't recognize her in the thumbnail.
The only thing I don't like is her screaming. She does that weird scream with the trill, and I'm sure she's doing a lot of that this movie. I don't know.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, that's definitely something worth checking.
Hellboy: The Crooked Man may or may not come out this week.
It's not on my list.
Well, that's just it. That I saw at some point in the far past, I saw it announced for this date, and now I just keep seeing things that say in September without a date. And they did release a trailer for it, so it might make this. They might have pushed it back. It's kind of being distributed by a smaller studio, so I don't know what's going on with it.
Look good.
It doesn't look great. Apparently, the creator Mike Mignola is actually like really involved in this one, where he wasn't so much in the other ones. It's definitely low budget. It's getting down to kind of it's more of a horror movie than the other ones were like trying to be big action spectacles.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks lower budget too. Yeah. You know. Now the last one wasn't good, but at least I like David Harbour. But his makeup and stuff was not good. But as much as I wanted to like it for David Harbour, it wasn't that great. So this one, I'll check it out, but not too excited about it.
Megalopolis. Big releases.
Yeah, Megalopolis.
I still don't know what the fuck this movie is.
It's Francis Ford Coppola. He's apparently put $100 million of his own money in to make this movie, and it's got kind of an odd cast, and the trailers look really bizarre. It does not look interesting to me at all. Apparently, coming out of like Cannes Film Festival and stuff, people are saying we're calling it like unreleasable. So this might be like the train wreck of the fall. I don't know, but people will go see it and love it just because it's Francis Ford Coppola.
I mean, it's got Adam Driver in it, but I watched the first trailer they dropped. I was like, I don't know what this is.
I realized I don't like Adam Driver unless he's doing comedy. When he's doing serious roles, I don't tend to like him very much.
I like Adam Driver just in general.
But
there are a lot of movies of Adam Driver's that I just don't. It's not necessarily him. It's the movie that he's in. That I'm like, I don't want to watch this. It has nothing to do with him personally, but I don't care about Ferrari. I didn't care about. I didn't care about the. Oh God, what was the one where they were like
Gucci?
Yes, Gucci. I didn't care about House of Gucci. There's that other one, the musical one that he did. Came out like a year or two ago. Like I didn't care to watch that. Nothing against Adam Driver. It's just the movies that he's choosing.
I just wanted to see back in like What If, and this is where
this is where I leave you.
That's the Adam Driver that I want to see more of, but I don't think that's what he wants to do. Whatever. And the last one for that week I have is The Wild Robot, which I'm still super.
You and I were both excited for this movie. We thought it was going to be like kind of a silent film, and as soon as the animals started talking, you and
I thought like WALL-E was essentially a silent film for the most part, and I'm like they were able, and this seemed like it was going to capture that. in that first trailer. And the second trailer, I'm like, oh, it's just more another talking animal kids movie, which it might still have heart. It might still be entertaining, but my expectations.
It
down.
visually looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second trailer, I immediately lost interest in it. I do have Lee down as another movie that comes out this week.
What was that?
Lee?
Lee. That's the Kate Winslet one?
Yeah, the Kate Winslet one. The biggest reason that I want to check this out, which this one, she's a war photographer. What war is it? Is it a real war or is it a fake war? World War II. Okay, so real war. Yeah, so she's a female war photographer going into World War II. Obviously, you got the thing where it's like she's a woman, she shouldn't be out in the field, all this kind of stuff. It's a biopic based off of this person. It's got a decent cast: Alexander Skarsgård, Marion Cotillard. Yeah, I love her, but I can never say her damn name. Here's the thing that I'm interested in. This is a drama. This is a hardcore, like Oscar Beatty drama, and Andy Samberg's in it. I so badly want to see what he does in this movie. If there was ever a reason for me to even give a shit about this film, it's because Andy Samberg, which seems to be like the officer who is like in charge to like keep her safe. So he looks like he's got a vital part in this film. Because of that, I want to see this movie. I want to see what he does, because these comedians, like you don't think like, oh no, I could never buy him as a serious actor, and then they come out like, oh my god, they're actually really fucking good. I want to see if he's really good. I really, really do, and that is literally the selling point for me, is that Andy Samberg is in a serious film. I don't know if that does anything for you, because I love Andy Samberg, but I also watch like SNL and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all that stuff. But yeah,
maybe I'll check it out sometime. I don't know.
Yeah, that is the only reason I want to see this movie, is because Samberg is in it. What do you got next? I think we're jumping into October finally.
Okay, now we're into October. October 3rd, actually. On Hulu, there's a movie called Hold Your Breath. Again, there's no trailer or anything for this yet. It's a young mother in 1930s Oklahoma, haunted by her past and trapped in horrifying dust storms, becomes convinced her family is threatened by a mysterious presence and takes extraordinary measures to protect them. It's Sarah Paulson and Evan Moss Bachrach, who of course is going to be our thing. And is it The Bear? Is that the one he's on that you see?
Yep, The Bear. Netflix's Punisher.
Yeah, so that might be worth checking out on Hulu. But again, we don't really know a whole lot about that. There's a movie called House of Spoils that's going to be on Amazon. That is Ariana DeBose. This is again another kind of a thriller. It's a horror thriller. She's a chef. Some kind of paranormal things going on there. Again, there's not a full trailer yet, so we don't know about these. These streaming companies don't like to put out trailers very far in advance.
It's not even on my list. Hold Your Breath is, but that one is not on my list.
Yeah.
So I don't even.
There's one that came out of Sunday, and then going to Friday the 4th. One that came out of Sundance Film Festival, and apparently Netflix bought it for like $17 million. But this is called It's What's Inside. I don't know a whole lot about it. A pre-wedding party descends to existential nightmare when a strange friend shows up with a mysterious suitcase. Again, don't know much about it. Now it's going to Netflix. Hopefully we'll see a full trailer for that soon. And then White Bird, which this movie has been like on this release schedule for like 3 years. It used to be called like White Bird, A Wonder Story. They try to connect it to the movie Wonder, because apparently it's by the same author or something. But it takes place in like World War II, so it's like, I don't know. This one is coming out. It's finally apparently coming out now. I don't really care about it. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
I literally didn't know what it was, and then I right-clicked and pulled it up while you were talking, and I immediately was like, I'm not gonna watch this movie. I don't give a shit.
And then of course the big movie for this week.
No. There's one other. I got one other movie. Oh. Unless your schedule's different, I got Monster Summer.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Monster Summer intrigued the hell out of me because it's got the kid from Black Phone, which
Incoming.
What's that?
It was also just on Netflix's Incoming.
Yes, and Mel Gibson, and it's an epic adventure. It's got a. I'm trying to find the freaking synopsis for this thing because I clicked on it and all I got.
When a mysterious force begins to disrupt their big summer fun, Noah and his friends team up with a retired police detective to embark on a monstrous adventure to save their island.
kind of Stranger Things Super 80 with Mel Gibson. And I'm sorry, I still am intrigued when Mel Gibson pops up on screen. So I saw the trailer for this and I was like, I'm all for this. I really want to see this movie.
I'm gonna have to watch the trailer for this one because I still root for Mel Gibson. I like Mel Gibson, but Mel Gibson also pumps out a lot of shit. He's like
the last Mel Gibson one I tried watching was was it Hurricane Heist or whatever with him and like Emil Hirsch and
I didn't see that one, but
it was not good.
Yeah, he makes a lot of straight to VOD paycheck movies these days.
But this one's not a VOD one. This one's coming to theaters. So
hopefully this one's good. Yeah.
Yes. So when I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, it's Mel Gibson. It's probably VOD. But by the end of it, I was like, no, this looks good. That's one of my surprise anticipated films of the year. And then of course the big one. Can you even say what the title is for this?
Joker Folie à Deux.
Is it Folie à Deux?
Folie à Deux, yeah.
Folie à Deux. Okay. Yes, this is the one I teased during our summer movie review, is the one that Brian doesn't give a rat's fucking ass about, and Sean does. Brian didn't like Joker. I love Joker. I can't say that I'm necessarily like gung-ho head over heels in love with what they're going to do with this movie, with kind of almost being like a jukebox musical with Joker and Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. But I'm super fucking intrigued by it. The teaser trailer and the actual trailer, similar, but yet so fucking different at the exact same time. So I don't know which movie I'm getting out of these two. It's probably gonna be something in the middle. But it's one of my more anticipated films of the year. I gotta see. Joaquin won the Oscar for Joker. That scene at the end of the first film with him and De Niro was great. And was it De Niro? Yeah, it was De Niro. It wasn't Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
I get them confused, but it was De Niro. I really want to see what they do with this. I'm not like expecting to love it, but I am super fucking intrigued to see what they do with this. I know you don't give a rat's ass, but this is one of my more anticipated films of the year. You have anything about it, or are you just like, no?
I have nothing to say about it now.
Even though it's musical, because that's your wheelhouse.
Well, it's musical, but we don't know exactly how they're incorporated in the musical and so I'm still kind of like, I'll wait, and if I hear that it's my kind of thing, I'll check it out. But based on like Joaquin and his performance as Joker, I have no interest in it. So unless something really drags me in, I probably won't even see it.
Okay. The 11th.
The 11th.
I've got three movies. No, I got four movies actually. Do you have four?
I only have three, but I might have just left something off. Go ahead.
Before we get to the two biggies, I've got We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. That one is kind of like your romance film. They stumble across each other, and then Florence Pugh ends up getting cancer, and
great. Feel good movie. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's definitely a feel-good film. I watched the trailer for it. It's definitely one of those. It's from the director of Brooklyn. It's definitely gonna be one of those movies. It was huge at the Toronto Film Festival. I love both these actors, so I
think if I watch it, it'll be just because I like those two actors. It's the only reason I watch this movie.
Yeah, the movie itself isn't something that I'm like, I need to see this, but I actually really would like to watch these two together, just to see if their chemistry fits. Which these are two very lovable actors, so I would find it very hard to believe that these two don't gel perfectly in this film. Another one, and this one is more, I read it and I'm intrigued by it, but I have not seen any trailer whatsoever for it, and that's called Brothers.
I have that for the following week. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it's two criminal twin brothers, one trying to reform, embark on a dangerous heist road trip, facing legal troubles, gunfights, and family drama, and they must reconcile their differences before their mission leads to self-destruction. Josh Brolin, Brendan Fraser, Peter Dinklage. I'm sorry, those three people right there, I'm locked in. You also got Glenn Close is in it as well. Yeah, those three leads right there, I'm already set to see this. Like I said, there hasn't been any trailers. I tried to search on a trailer for it today to see if I could see if it was something worth even talking about. But like I said, those three leads, I'm already locked in on it. I put it on my anticipated list. It's not very high because, like I said, I need a trailer for it. But I like the synopsis and then, of course, the three leads. So that's what I have for that. And then I've got, the wide release stuff.
And who knew that it was his own brother that messed up his hands? You got Thanos and ETDL.
Yeah.
No, but basically, I've just seen Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage's brothers. I think it'll be fun. I did look it up. It's limited release on the 10th in theaters. 17th is on Prime Video. Is what it is. That's why I had it.
Oh, so it's gonna be Prime.
Yeah, well, it's open limited release in theaters on the 10th, but then it'll be on Prime. And
yeah, I don't even have the Prime aspect of it. So cool. Okay, because I was like, I'm probably gonna have to wait for this thing to eventually pop up. This is gonna be on Prime, and fantastic.
I have 3 others. I have the same 2, and then I have additional one. There's Piece by Piece.
Yeah, I just glossed over that one.
I sounds like it might be interesting and fun to watch. I don't know, as a cohesive movie. Apparently, it's the life and career of Pharrell Williams as told through Legos.
I really don't give a shit.
All these performers like Gwen Stefani and Kendrick Lamar, all these people. So that one I think might just be kind of something you'll check out at some point. And then there's the 2 big ones. This might be my double feature of the Fallout here.
Is this our Barbieheimer?
Not quite. They aren't going to be nearly as big, obviously. Terrifier 3, which I love. Terrifier 2. I'm looking forward to this one, but I'm keeping my expectations in check because I feel like it might be disappointing. I feel like they might either try too hard to outdo themselves and just be trying too hard and be kind of stupid. I also don't know if they're going to try and delve even deeper into their mythology and the story, which that's not the strong point of the Terrifier movies. People just want to see cool, gory kills. I think it'll still be entertaining, but I am going in kind of tempered expectations. What's your feeling on this lately?
Terrifier 3, this is like the little horror movie that could. I think this is the horror movie that you and I both wanted like Trick or Treat to become, and it never did.
Yeah.
Art the Clown. This guy is everywhere now. Like he's not big enough yet to be like a pop icon like your Freddy's, your Jasons, your Michael Myers, but he's around enough people to go, oh, I know that guy. I don't know where I know him from because they've never seen Terrifier, but they know who Art the Clown is because he's pops up on memes and GIFs and all that other shit. I knew who he was before I saw any of the movies. And then Terrifier 2 was coming out, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, okay, I guess I'll check out Terrifier 1. Terrifier 1, well, all the movies are brutal, and that is the selling point. It's brutal in a way that Saw is torture porn. This is gore porn to the umpteenth degree. There are certain times, especially in the second one, where I was watching going, okay, we're going a little too far here. The bedroom scene. That's all I got to say. You see the bedroom scene.
That's not too far. That's one of the best scenes in the movie. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. You put bedroom scene and Terrifier 2 in the same sentence. You don't have to go into any further detail. Everyone knows what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. But then that was like, I remember like I watched the first one, and then Brian made me sit down and watch the second one with him. And I think it was like your 3rd time watching it at that point. You sick fuck. And I remember the bedroom scene. You're laughing, and I'm just like, okay, hold on. Stop. Like, oh, come on here. But it's good. It's good in spite of the over-the-topness of it, except that it can't get out of its own way with the lore, which makes little to zero fucking sense. And of course, the way it ended, it does look like they're going to continue with where it ended, though. So that might sell, or that might help how the second one ended, because based off the trailer that got dropped yesterday, it does look like they're continuing to where the post-credit scene finished.
Oh yeah, from what I understand, it picks up right after those credits, and then most of the movie takes place over Christmas time, obviously, which is the previous one's Halloween, so it's just like a month or 2 later.
So I'm super intrigued. I'm super interested. The girlfriend has not seen either one, so I'm going to have to go back. And yeah, I know. I knew as soon as you heard that you're going to be giddy. Brian,
you don't need to watch in order though. Just show her 2. Just show her 2.
No. One's fine. There's nothing wrong with
what if she watches 1 and doesn't want to see 2, and then you don't get to see her watch 2?
She knows how over the top 2 is. So as long
2
as she's
so much
okay
better
with
than 1.
No, it's different, but it's not necessarily better. It's better because of what it does. But no, if you're gonna watch it, you watch all of them. I still have never seen whatever he first debuted in. What it was like a anthology horror film.
I believe All Hallows Eve was his thing. I know it was just a short in an anthology.
Yeah, I never saw that, but I am super interested. Like I said, the success of Terrifier 2 has obviously intrigued me enough to want to check out Terrifier 3. Like I said, I'm gonna have to rewatch the first two films again. I'm surprised Brian's not asking to be a part of it so he can watch Kimberly's reaction.
One of the problems is they make these movies too long. Like the 2 was way too long. The third one is over 2 hours as well. It's like 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Was 2 like 2:45?
No, but it was probably closer than 2.5. It was like 2:25 or something. Like
I remember when you told me that, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This movie does not need to be that long. And you know what? It didn't. They could have cut like 45 minutes out of the movie. It would have been.
Terrifier 2 is 2 hours and 18 minutes. Terrifier 3 is gonna be 2 hours and 8 minutes.
So it's shorter, but not by much. But yeah, I this is one of my more anticipated films of the year. This is the Halloween film of Halloween. I just hope, unlike Terrifier 2, that this has gotten popular enough that this is going to get wide released. Because I had to watch it at home on a laptop with Brian. Brian got to see it in theaters. I did not get to see it in theaters. But I also don't know if I really want to see this in theaters with people. Because either you're going to have the real sick fucks that really get off on this shit, or you're going to have people who don't know what the fuck they're walking into and people puking in the theater or walking out or some shit. Like, I don't know what experience we're going to get if we see this in theaters. And if you guys have never checked out Terrifier, if you go to Fandango at home, both movies are free with ads right now. So you can check them out and watch them at free will before Terrifier 3 comes out on the 11th. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know why. It's like being excited to watch a fucking car accident. It's fucked up, but I gotta watch it. And that's Terrifier 3 in a nutshell.
Tickets for Terrifier 3, I know it just went on sale actually today, I believe it was. And I'm not buying advance tickets for anything, but just looking at it, looks like it's getting a full wide release.
Okay, so it looks like I'll actually probably get to watch this in theaters. But there's another movie that's coming out on top of Terrifier 3 that's something that me and Brian are both excited about, and that's Saturday Night. We watched the first trailer for this a couple weeks back. Brian and I are both huge fans of Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. This is all about the first night of Saturday Night Live. The cast looks great. The way it's shot looks great. Everything about that 2.5-minute trailer I fucking loved, and Brian did as well. Kind of wish it wasn't coming out the same weekend as Terrifier 3, because I feel like no one's going to see this and everyone's going to go see Terrifier 3. But I'm super excited to see this film. This is one of my more anticipated films of the year.
I don't know. I don't know if Terrifier 3 is going to be like a blockbuster hit. I think it's going to be a kind of a cult.
It's going to have that cult following and horror thing. It's going to ride through October.
Yeah, but I also think this is more of a mainstream movie, and honestly, I kind of hope
you're telling me after this weekend that Terrifier 3 is not going to be #1 box office, and that Saturday Night or something prior will.
If it doesn't get a full wide release,
if it gets a full wide release, you don't think Terrifier 3 is going to be #1 box office that weekend?
I think I think there's a good chance, but I'm not going to say 100%.
I'm not. It's obviously not going to make like Barbie money or anything, because it's not summer. But Terrifier 3 is going to make a shitload of money if it gets fully wide release. It made a shitload of money on 2. I don't know how much more budget they put into Terrifier 3, but it's going to beat it. It's going to make money back on this, and they're going to probably keep making Terrifier 4 and what have you. But I feel like Saturday Night is not going to make that much money. It's good. I don't know how much it took to make the film. I want Saturday Night to do really, really, really well. I really do.
Well, I mean, all the buzz going into it is really good, and they're even talking like possibility for like Oscar nominations and stuff. And I don't think it's going to win anything, but it could be considered for stuff.
Yeah,
and I think it looks great. This is probably my most anticipated movie of the fall at this point, because
it the week after Joker, which Joker's the only thing I see beating Terrifier 3 for #1 that weekend.
Yeah,
you got Joker, then Terrifier 3. And then the next week, you got another horror film. I feel like Saturday Night is just not going to be there money-wise. And I don't want it to be one of the movies that deserves all the recognition, but is overshadowed by all the horror crap and
at
Joker.
This point, as much as I want the movies I like to succeed, at this point, I've just accepted that as long as they keep making the good movies, I don't care. People can be stupid and not watch them and go watch their other stuff. I've given up on trying to care about how much money things make, because
what I'm worried about
is just frustrating
because so many people don't go check it out that the Oscars will overlook it as well.
Right. Or in some cases, you hope people will see things that they'll keep making movies like this. This one, obviously, like it's written and directed by Jason Reitman. He wrote along with Gil Kenan, his partner, who also directed The Last Ghostbusters. it is the last. It's like the 90 minutes before the premiere of the first Saturday Night Live, so it's got that kind of that told in real time aspect.
Yeah,
it definitely feels like that Studio 60 on Sunset Strip, which if you haven't seen it, go binge it right now. Awesome show. I think everybody they cast is perfect for their roles. They aren't necessarily like, exact, they look like them, but you can totally see them in the characters, in the voices they use, everything. They have Gabriel LaBelle, who played young Spielberg, Fableman in the Fablemans. He's Lorne Michaels. I think he looks perfect for it. Just
Dylan
everything
O'Brien,
about this movie
Dan
just
Aykroyd.
fun as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. October 18th, there's one movie that, like The Uglies on Netflix, that I feel like we're gonna watch it just to laugh at it. And that's Flight Risk.
I want so badly to like Flight Risk because it's directed
I
by Mel
want it
Gibson.
to be good as well, but I can't take it seriously with the trailer.
It's directed by Mel Gibson, and I like seeing him in directing again. But it's like, and Mark Wahlberg in kind of this action film, and Topher Grace is in it. And I like seeing him again. And so it's like, I want to like this movie, and everything about it sounded like it could be fun until I saw the trailer. And for no reason,
at all,
for no reason at all, Mark Wahlberg has like this shaved head. Like is it supposed to look like he's just bald on top?
Because it's almost like, and I'm only saying this actor because it's the first name I thought in my head. It's almost like the Danny DeVito, where it's just like the hair here and then just fully, it's like
Danny DeVito's looks real. This looks like he had a full head of hair and somebody just shaved off this part.
He's going full Hulk Hogan. He's going full Hulk Hogan in this.
I can't see any story reason why he'd have to have hair like that. So it's just a weird choice. Maybe it's explained in the movie, but in the trailer, it just looks so fucking stupid.
The only way I can see it explained, because he's a hitman assassin guy, is that like he got scalped. And like that's just his skin growing, and like that's the only reason I think it would make sense for you, that to be like, okay, I get it. Or he's one of those guys, he's like a chameleon assassin where he's trying to look like somebody, so he did it.
The problem is every second he's on screen with his hair like that, I can't take it seriously.
It's one of those things where you just gotta turn and laugh, because just like I don't want to laugh at your face,
comedy at all. Yeah,
it's like, God damn it, you look hilarious right now, and I can't take you serious, especially if you're going like this is like trying to be I can't. And it's nothing against bald people. It's Wahlberg looking like that I can't take it. You could get Mark Strong or anyone else to do that, and I wouldn't think anything of it. It's because it's Wahlberg. I can't get through it. But I want this movie to be good. I really, really do. But goddamn it, that trailer, you and I both couldn't make it through it without laughing. We just couldn't do it. Also, I saw this trailer this morning. Goodrich. Got Michael Keaton, Mila Kunis. It's a dramedy. It's about he's kind of like an absentee father to Mila Kunis, but then like either like his daughter or something they go to rehab. Not Mila Kunis, like their other daughter, and he kind of has to be like that grandfather who has to take care of the two young kids, and he becomes like a better father to them than he was with Mila Kunis, and it's all about them kind of working through their issues and stuff. I'm all for a dramatic film with Keaton and even Mila Kunis, because that's one thing is like I want her to branch out, but she hasn't done a good job of doing it yet. This looks like it could work for her because you're still staying in the comedy, but you're adding that layer of drama to it. I liked what I saw from the trailer. Not enough to make me want to go see it opening weekend, but definitely enough to check it out when it like pops up on like on demand and stuff like that. But it was a decent trailer.
Yeah, Castellano, I'll check that one out. And then the only other movie I have for that week is another one I don't give a shit about, and that's
the only reason I care about this is because of
Naomi Scott.
What's her first name?
Naomi.
I want to say Kristen. I was like, that's not right. Naomi Scott being in this is the only reason why I want to give this a remote chance, because I hate Smile.
That first one was not good.
It's not good. And once again, much like most of the horror films that people blow everything out of proportion, this was one of them. I was literally talking about that the other day with a coworker. Because she asked me about, she asked me about Barbarian. And I was like, it's okay. It's overrated as shit. Everyone blew Barbarian way out of proportion. It's fine for what it was, but don't go in thinking it's one of the best things ever. I go, it's like Smile and It Follows, where people think it's like, you have a horror movie that's just, or even, Talk to Me? Is it Talk to Me?
Mm-hmm.
But all those are fine to shit. but everyone's talking about them like they're the second coming of horror. And Smile was one of those. I watched Smile. I couldn't stand it. But this has Naomi Scott. It also has Rosemary DeWitt. I've always really liked her as an actress. It's revolving around like a singer played by Naomi Scott, so we get to hear her sing in it because I know she has a voice. I am more open to checking this one out and more open to just the possibilities of what this one can do than any other horror sequel of a movie that I hated previously. So I am not against checking this one out because of the lead, but I'm also not going in with any expectations. But yeah, that's the only thing I had in theaters for this week.
And then the next week, the only thing I have is Venom. Unless you have something else.
There is one other movie. I think it's VOD or it's an indie. There is one from the week prior called The Line. I watched that trailer today. It's a fraternity film. It's got Alex Wolff in it, Halle Bailey, and Sherry O'Terry, Scoot McNairy, Denise Richards, John Malkovich, Angus Cloud. They're all in this. It's basically it's kind of like a fraternity film. No, dark comedy, maybe dark comedy to drama. It basically follows this fraternity, and it looks like kind of like going into like the hardcoreness of it. Alex Wolff looks great in it. Lewis Pullman, he's also in it. It's like I said, really good cast. Like I said, I just watched the trailer for it. They actually are classifying it as a college fraternity thriller. That could be a surprise one. So yeah, that actually comes out on the 18th with Flight Risk, Goodrich, and Smile 2. But yeah, on the 25th, outside of Venom, I've got another movie called Your Monster. No trailer yet. I got nothing for trailer. All I got is a synopsis and the leads. After her life falls apart, soft-spoken actress Laura Franco finds her voice again when she meets a terrifying yet weirdly charming monster living in her closet. It's a romantic comedy horror film about falling in love with your inner rage, and it stars our girl, Melissa Barrera, and Tommy Dewey. I know him from something, but like his face looks familiar, but nothing's popping up. He plays
I know him mostly from the Mindy Project. He was also in some stuff like 17 again, things like that. Gotcha. He's in Saturday Night too as well.
Yeah, but my main go-to was the plot with Melissa Barrera. That's it. I think this is going to be an indie film, VOD release kind of movie. I don't see this popping up in a lot of theaters. You might get it in your theater area, but I'm definitely not going to get it in mine.
Yeah, I might check this one out at home at some point just because Melissa Barrera, but otherwise it's not.
Yeah, other than that, yes, Venom: The Last Dance is the only movie that comes out this week. You all know how I feel about Venom. I don't care. I don't care about this franchise. I love Venom, the comic book character. I hate Venom, the Tom Hardy character. I've not liked a single fucking thing they've done with this film franchise. Apparently, I'm in the minority because this franchise is making money. It's Despicable Me all over again. I hate what they do with the Venom character in these films. It's a joke, and the Venom character is not a joke to me. Same thing with Carnage. Those are two characters that I love in the Spider-Man verse. Are probably my two favorite Spider-Man villains that never really get to interact with Spider-Man because Topher Grace killed that in Spider-Man 3. I fucking hate what they've done in these first two films, and I'm not excited to see the third one. I will check it out at some point, but I really have no interest in seeing this at all.
Yeah, I doubt I'm going to even see this one, at least not probably in theaters. And what really pisses me off is that this probably will make money, whereas another movie we're talking about later in that universe that should make money probably won't. But we'll talk about that later.
I agree. Heading into November, not nearly as strong, especially until we get to Thanksgiving. What do you have for the November 1st?
First, I'll run through a couple of small things. There's a VOD one called Weekend in Taipei, an action movie with Luke Evans. Not much more to say about that one. I'll probably check it out just because I like him. There's a Liam Neeson action thriller number 724 called The Thug, or just called Thug. It was previously titled Absolution. Again, no trailer.
It's still labeled as Absolution on my thing.
Yeah, so I don't know which one it'll get released at. On Letterboxd still has this Thug, so I don't know.
At least it's got Ron Perlman in it.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be just another formula Liam Neeson movie. Yeah. At this point, I don't care about most of those. You have.
I got one that is. It looks like a. Oh no! It expands in the following week. I'll wait. I'll hold on. I'll hold off on it.
My Dead Friend Zoe, which is who was in that? Why did I write that one down? This is one that came out of film festivals as well. It's
Sonequa Martin Green,
Natalie
Natalie
Morales, Ed
Harris,
Freeman, Utkarsh Ambudkar. I like him. A female veteran engaged in a mysterious but comfortable friendship with her wisecracking and dead best friend from the army. I don't know. I think this is kind of another dramedy. It's kind of that indie kind of feel to it. Went to the film festivals. Then A Real Pain, which is actually apparently was a big hit on the film festivals.
I have heard great things about.
Yeah, this is directed by Jesse Eisenberg, I believe.
Yeah.
It stars Jesse Eisenberg and which
Culkin?
Kieran and Rory. I get them mixed up. Who I have said from back in like Scott Pilgrim days, never since then. Kieran Culkin totally has like that old Robert Downey Jr. energy.
He's the most talented Culkin, everybody.
Yeah,
nothing against Macaulay or Rory.
But he has that kind of dry sense of humor that Robert Downey Jr. had through most of his career, all the way up through Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and those kind of movies, all the way up, and he kind of he's changed a little bit since Iron Man. It's a little more, a little kind of a different tone to him, but he kind of has that feel to it, and I love that kind of that tone that he has. And I've liked him in everything I've seen him in. And this one is apparently getting rave reviews. So this is one to keep an eye on.
I really want to check this out. It probably won't get released in my area, so I'll have to probably wait till video on demand.
And then there's Here from Robert Zemeckis, his latest gimmick film, because that's all he does anymore is gimmick films, whether it be mocap or whatever else it is.
If it works, it works. It just hasn't.
The entire movie is shot from one fixed point and then whether from caveman days through in colonial days, and then when they build a house and everybody who lives in that house and the families that grow up and leave the house. And the big thing is it's the reunion of Robin Wright and Tom Hanks, as well as the writer not Winston Groom. I forget the writer's name. But then director Robert Zemeckis from Forrest Gump, of course. The trailer, it looks like nothing for me. I have no interest in watching this fixed camera movie with people just walking by it.
I care about this because it's Tom Hanks, and I will, for the most part, about 80% of the time, if it's got Tom Hanks in it, I'm going to check it out. Also, Zemeckis. I haven't given up on Zemeckis. I want him to have another big hit. And while, yes, the thought of it all being shot in that same like locked set through time kind of thing, as long as it's got Tom Hanks on screen, I'm gonna be intrigued by it. It's when they don't do Tom Hanks, it's other shit that I probably don't care. But Paul Bettany's also in it, so we like Paul Bettany. I'm at least intrigued by it. I don't know if I'm intrigued enough to go see it in theaters, but I'm definitely intrigued to check it out. Probably when it gets around to Oscars, unless it tanks and we probably won't hear about it ever again. Which I felt the same way about Welcome to Marwen. I was so excited to check out Welcome to Marwen, and then it got like review bombed like crazy, and I never watched it. But I was so excited to see Welcome to Marwen, and I never did. But yeah, that's everything for the first. Going to the 8th, the one that I was going to talk about, but it had a limited on the first. It goes wide on the 8th. I am not a religious person by any means, nor do I really care about a lot of religious films. But I watched the trailer for this one, and I was actually really, really intrigued by it, and that's Conclave. I think the cast, it's got great leads. I love the leads. You got Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, also Isabella Rossellini. It's all about the Pope just died, and it's all them kind of very like almost like House of Cards-esque.
Yeah, it's a lot of political wrangling and things
trying to figure out
choose the next pope. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, the trailer it could be boring as shit, everybody, but it left me intrigued.
Their marketing company did their job, because I heard this movie coming out, and I heard this is one of the big, they think it's gonna be a big Oscar contender at the end of the year. And I saw Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci. I'm like, oh, I love this cast. But I'm like, I could not have less interest in this fucking subject. I doubt I'll even watch this movie. And I saw the trailer. I'm like, well, shit, I'm intrigued. They definitely got the trailer just right. Now I actually want to check it out.
Yeah. Outside of that,
the only movie I have for that day is The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, which is a Judy Greer. It looks like a family comedy. They take like these troubled kids and they're trying to put on a Christmas pageant. It's an old book and they made a movie of it before. It's not going to be my kind of thing, but it's a family entertainment.
I'm not going to watch that. Neither one of us will.
Do you have anything else that week?
No, well, there's a theater release of a Netflix film, but then it comes out on Netflix on the 22nd, so we can just wait and talk about that then.
Okay.
I do see on the 13th on Netflix Amelia Perez. It's a musical. It's got Selena Gomez. It's got Zoe Saldana and someone else. I just watched the trailer for it. It's not my cup of tea. But yeah, it's gonna hit certain people the right way. I watched the trailer. It didn't really explain much. It just kind of was like, this movie is great. These people are great in this. It's a musical, and that's the trailer. And I was like, okay.
So I just looked it up, and it's listed as a thriller/drama.
It's a musical. They literally show them doing like dancing motions through it. There's one point Zoe Saldana is literally dancing like in a suit at one point, and same thing. There's a dance sequence with Selena Gomez and stuff. Like it's definitely a musical.
I don't know what to think of that one. Okay.
Yeah. The 15th, I've got 2 movies.
I have 4.
Yep, 4.
I have a small one, a dramedy starring Michael Cera called Christmas Eve in Miller's Point.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I don't know if I want to see that one. I have Netflix movie Back in Action. No trailer or anything for it yet. This is one that's been coming for a long time. This is Cameron Diaz making a return after semi-retiring, along with Jamie Foxx. Isn't this with her? This is supposed to be kind of an action comedy thing. Let me bring up the description of it. Like I said, there's no trailer or anything yet. Years after giving up life in the CIA to start a family, 2 former spies are dragged back into the world of espionage when their cover is blown. Like I said, Cameron and Jamie are the stars. It also has Kyle Chandler in it, Andrew Scott, Glenn Close is a small part in it. It's directed by Seth Gordon, who did things like Horrible Bosses, so it's obviously going to have a comedy angle to it. I'll know more once I see a trailer, but this one I'm actually excited to see these 2 back.
That's not even on my list. I would have mentioned that one or put that on my list if I saw it, but definitely did not see that.
And then the last 2 I have are probably the 2 you have. I have Heretic, which is
a horror film. It's a horror film.
It's another horror film. Although Hugh Grant, he's kind of taking this turn in his career. He's taking a lot of different kinds of roles, and I'm actually kind of intrigued by this one.
Here's the thing: you show me this trailer exactly as it is. With any other actor, I'm like, whatever. Because it's Hugh Grant. Once again, it's another religious horror film. Apparently, religious horror is all about November. But because it's got Hugh Grant in it, I want to see it. I want to check this out. Because, I'm sorry, Hugh Grant's hit that age where he's just going to fucking do everything. He's going to do Wonka. He's going to do this movie. He's going to do Paddington 2. He's going to do
like Guy Ritchie movies.
The Guy Ritchie movies. I'm so intrigued by whatever Hugh Grant does now, and this one is right up there. Oh, you're going to be a horror film. Oh, shit, yeah, okay. It's like, who's one of the girls is someone I know. I'm blanking on her name.
I just had.
Oh, Sophie Thatcher. She's in Yellow Jackets. She was in The Boogeyman. Okay. I really like her as a performer. But yeah, this is one you watch the trailer, you're like, oh god, it's about like 2 oh god, what are they? They're I'm blanking on what they are, but they're the people that go knock around on doors saying, "Can we talk to you about Jesus?" What's that?
Like Mormons?
Yeah, they are. They're 2 Mormon missionaries. Missionaries is the word I was looking for. Jehovah's Witnesses. That's another one I was looking for. And they basically knock on the door, and it looks like it's like a maze in a house. And it's all about him trying to make sure, like, do you really believe or are you fake? And this trailer intrigued the hell out of me.
Yeah, I had the same thing. It's like, you put this with anybody else in it, I'm like, I might check it out eventually. Hugh Grant has me sold on it, but then it also has those 3 little letters beginning A24, which
your hate for A24 knows no bounds.
Yeah, well, once in a while they make a good one. They've made movies. I just this week watched Under the Silver Lake, Andrew Garfield movie from like 5 years ago. Really, really enjoyed that movie. And that's A24. So there you go.
And then we've got probably the biggest movie. Well, no, because the following week got 2 real huge movies as well. Red One. This movie was supposed to come out. Was it 2 years ago? Was it just last year?
Well, they never said it was coming out then. It was just being made. We assumed it was going to come out last year, and it didn't. And then we figured, well, because it's Christmas, they're going to all the way till this Christmas to put it out.
And we weren't wrong on that. Yeah. And I kept thinking for some reason this was Netflix, but it's not. It's wide release. I just always kept thinking it was a Netflix film.
I think it's actually an Amazon movie, but they're putting it in theaters. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I always thought it was a streaming film. But you got J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus. The Rock is his bodyguard or some shit, or his trainer,
Like head of security or something. Yeah.
Head of security, yeah. And then you also got Chris Evans in this film. You also got Lucy Liu. This movie is going to be one of two things. It's either going to be fun and enjoyable like Jumanji, or it's going to be Red Notice. I feel like there's no in between. Where are your thoughts on this film? Because like I want to like it, I want to have fun with it, but at the same time, it's like this actually kind of looks not great.
Yeah, I heard the concept, like this could be a lot of fun. We saw the trailer for it, and like it could be really fun. It could be stupid. I like you said, I think it's probably gonna end up somewhere in between. It's not gonna be like a great film, but it definitely has its funny moments. It's just a matter of if they go too slapsticky, too childish, I think I won't enjoy it as much, which it might, because I mean this seems like it may be going for more of a family audience, but I don't know what to think of this one. It's yeah.
I mean, maybe we need another trailer, but I feel like we got enough of the first trailer. Like I said, this is either going to be a hit or it's going to be a bomb. And like I said, the cast in it is good. I just don't know if I love what I saw with it. It felt very. We like comedy Chris Evans, but this felt very much like old Chris Evans before he realized how good he was, and he was still kind of like not great. And The Rock looks like he's doing like he was doing like Disney Rock films before he found out that he was that good. It kind of feels like we're getting like the throwbacks of their performances and not to the caliber that we know that they're good at today. So it could bomb, it could be great, we don't know. But Thanksgiving week, we've got 2 knockouts ready to come out, as well as some other films. Netflix, we got The Piano Lesson. It's got a great cast around it. Not 100% sure it's something I'm going to check out. But you got Samuel L. Jackson, you got John David Washington, you got Taraji P. Henson, you got not Ray Lewis.
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher, thank you. It's about this piano that's kind of gone through the generations with this family, and kind of like, I don't know, it kind of makes it seem almost like a fucking ghost story, or that might just be more like in their heads kind of thing. But like the ghosts of the family's past are around this piano, and you're never alone kind of thing. I'm not really quite sure if this is more just like a retelling of the past to present day, but the cast around it is really, really strong. So maybe this might be an Oscar contender near the end of the year. There's an animated Netflix film, Spellbound. Haven't really seen much of a trailer for it, but the animation really doesn't do much for me. It stars.
Yeah, I think Rachel Ziegler in it too, and a couple other people I like are in the cast. But this is another one. It's like it's not even from like a major animation studio. I think it's one of those. I think it's just gonna kind of come and go.
But I mean, there have been random animated films that popped up on Netflix that were great. Nimona. Oh god, I'm blanking on the other one.
The one sea monster one that you like.
Yeah, exactly, the sea monster one. I was trying to think what it was called. I can't catch it in my brain.
It's called The Sea Beast, doesn't it?
Yes, thank you. It was The Sea Beast. Those were great, and those were not big animated companies. So who knows? This could be great. And dropping it on Thanksgiving, they have to feel confident in it to drop it on Thanksgiving. But of course, we have the 2 big knockouts. We got Wicked, which is one of Brian's most anticipated films of the year. Are they still selling this as a 2-parter? Because they're not advertising it as a 2-parter.
It is 2-part. It is 2-part. Instead of calling it Wicked Chapter or Wicked Part 1, they're just calling this one Wicked, and then next year is going to be Wicked Part 2. It is absolutely still 2 movies, though. Yeah.
So they're doing the it.
They're learning from the mistakes of people like Horizon, because they think people don't want to go see it in 2 parts, but it's going to backfire. People go see and go, wait, that's only half of the story, and they're going to piss people off. But
it worked. It worked for it.
Yeah.
Where it was just it, and then at the very end it was like It Chapter 2 comes out in 2 years. Wicked musicals for me are like I'm either all for it or I'm like, keep the fuck away. I am not a fan of Ariana Grande. I think she's like nails on a chalkboard annoying, but I am a big fan of, and I want to say her name correctly,
Cynthia Erivo.
I am a fan of her. I love her in most of the things she is. I think she's I wouldn't say she's criminally underrated, but she's not. I feel like she should be bigger than what she is. I really liked the trailer for this. I think it looks great. I like the cast around them. You got Michelle Yeoh. You've got
Jeff Goldblum as the wizard. I think will be the best part of this movie.
Jeff Goldblum as a wizard is definitely intriguing. I do feel like the trailer kind of gave away the entire film, but it's also Wicked. It's like
I think they also assume that the main audience for this film, I think they assume that this audience knows this story and they know it. So they're not looking to hide any of the story. People are still going to go see it. So they know what it is. But for me, Ariana Grande, I think she can be a little annoying, especially like with her kind of high bubbly voice. But honestly, that fits the role because Kristen Chenoweth, who played this role originally, like in Broadway and stuff, she's actually doing a great kind of matchup.
And that was the thing, is like, in spite of that, I think she's going to be great in this.
Yeah. And what got me is a musical directed by John M. Chu, who did In the Heights. So I'm sold right there. Yeah,
and like I said, the big thing that I had to worry about it as well is that people know Wizard of Oz. This is not the Wizard of Oz.
Right. This is like the prequel. It's like the Maleficent to Wizard of Oz.
This is Maleficent. Where it's like, well, we're rooting for Maleficent, but she's supposed to be the evil. But it's not the same thing. It's a retelling. Because that was my mind where it's like, we're supposed to root for the evil witch, but she's supposed to be the fucking evil witch. And you're like, no, it's different. It's like, okay, fine. But that's part one. I'm super intrigued by it enough to check it out. I'll probably take my mom to go see it because Kimberly is not a musical fan at all. But for me, the big movie that comes out, it's probably my most anticipated film of the fall, and that's Gladiator 2. I fucking love Gladiator. Who doesn't love Gladiator? I mean, if you find someone who doesn't like Gladiator, it's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's like the same people who's like, I don't like Jurassic Park. It's like,
I love Gladiator. I love the cast that they've assembled here. I think that the trailer like looks great and things like that. I have to see where the story goes. But honestly, what's weird is the one thing that's holding me back from being, fully convinced this will be a great film is Ridley Scott. He's so hit and miss. I mean, now granted, he's going off of like, previously he made the first Gladiator, so this one probably great too. Not necessarily, because he also made the first Alien, and then he made Prometheus and Covenant. So it's like, does he still have it anymore? Has he kind of lost his touch?
I will say this though, the trailer looks great.
The trailer looked great.
Peter Mescal?
Paul Mescal.
I don't really know the guy. He looks like James McAvoy in the trailer, though. I will say that. He looks like James McAvoy.
He's the one they're all trying to push as the next It guy.
They are. So this is going to be my first real, like, okay, who's this guy? But you got him, you got Pedro Pascal, you got Denzel Washington, you've got, what's her name from the original movie?
Connie Nielsen.
Yeah, thank you. I am so excited for this film. It looks great. I cannot wait to check this one out.
I especially want to see Joseph Quinn kind of sinking his teeth into this.
And Joseph, yes,
role.
I almost forgot about Joseph fucking Quinn. Yes, he looks like he's chewing every piece of scenery on this, and I am so fucking here for this. The one part of the trailer was like, "The gods have spoken." I'm like, "Fuck yes, I want this. I want all of this." Last movie of November, Thanksgiving, we get Moana 2. I really liked the first Moana. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I didn't think we needed a sequel, but now Disney just decided, fuck it, we're doing sequels to everything now. The story is intriguing. I don't know if it's intriguing enough to make me go, oh my God, I have to see this right away. I'll probably see it in theaters because it's Moana. But it's one of those sequels that I keep forgetting it's coming out. And then all of a sudden I look, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, Moana 2 is coming out this year. I totally fucking forgot about that. And I normally don't forget about those movies that are like that. So it's weird because it's like it just randomly pops up. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they are doing that this year. That's this year? It's not next year? It is this year. Oh shit, okay. I know you're not the biggest Moana fan, but I mean,
I enjoyed Moana a lot. I didn't love it. And apparently it's like the most streamed movie over the past 3 years. It's been just like constantly the number one every year. So it has a huge following. It's going to make a ton of money. I watched the trailer for this one. The trailer didn't do anything for me. I'm still going to watch it, because I enjoyed the first one enough, and I like my musical Disney stuff, so I'm going to see it. But.
And I mean, we at least got 5 days between that and Gladiator and Wicked, so we can see all three.
Because the other ones are coming out on the weekend before. This one's coming out on the Wednesday.
It's coming out
Thanksgiving's that Thursday, right? Just coming out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I do have one movie coming out on Thanksgiving Day. This is coming out
Thanksgiving Day too? Thanksgiving too?
No. That's coming out next year, actually. on Max is a comedy rom-com, actually more of a comedy called Sweethearts. It stars Kieran Shipka and a bunch of people I've never heard of. Nico Haraga. Basically, it's two girls who have been with their high school, boyfriends forever, and they come back from college in the freshman year to do what they call the turkey dump and break up with them over Drunksgiving. And so it's kind of a girl comedy. I think it's going to go for a kind of a book smart vibe to it.
Okay.
But that one seems like it could be fun, and it's like on Thanksgiving, so it'd be something to check out.
Yeah, not on my list, so I didn't. No, I don't know what that is, but I'm.
Yeah, this one I just found out about like yesterday. So
okay, so we'll get a trailer here soon for probably the next month or two. But yeah, that is November. All right, and so going into December, first Friday we got here is December 6th. What do you see coming out?
Well, I have two listed for Wednesday, oddly. December 4th. I have one is called The Return, which is basically Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche starring, and it's the story of Odysseus. So I don't know. It seems like a real artsy kind of thing. Probably going to be a very limited release. I don't know anything more about it. There's no trailer or anything for it yet. But there's that one. And then there is a movie called Werewolves. So it's also been listed as Bite, which is probably VOD and very limited release. It's a Frank Grillo werewolf movie, which Frank Grillo is enough to make me want to see a movie. But let's be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a good werewolf movie. So I don't know.
They're usually mediocre to bad. But I saw this pop when I was going through my list. I saw Werewolves as well. And on top of Frank Grillo, which I also agree, if it's Frank Grillo, I immediately am intrigued. It's also got Katrina Law, who I know from Spartacus, which I loved her in that. She's also on like I think it's like one of the CSIs now or NCISs or some shit.
I'm not familiar.
I know her from Spartacus.
It does also have Lou Diamond Phillips in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and also Lou Diamond Phillips, which I'm never mad at seeing Lou Diamond Phillips pop up on screen, but this one does look like a straight to VOD. The plot, since we didn't say it, two scientists try to stop a mutation that turns people into werewolves after being touched by a supermoon the year before. I mean, I'm not against checking it out. I mean, I at least see that there is set photos, so we do know that it has been, shot to a point. I don't really see anyone else in the cast that look familiar, but honestly, those three leads, I'm willing to check it out, even if it is VOD. The first week of December, this is not a theatrical release. It's not.
I'm sure. My only question is if it gets like a super limited one on VOD, or if it's just
it has like a super limited release. This is strictly a VOD kind of thing. Were those the only ones you had?
That's all I had. That's why I had those two are actually listed for Wednesday, which seems weird.
Okay, I have all those on that Friday.
Okay, I do have three listed for Friday. I have a Netflix movie called That Christmas, a series of entwined tales about love and loneliness, family and friends, and Santa Claus making a big mistake. Not to mention an enormous number of turkeys. That's the synopsis. We've got Brian Cox, Fiona Shaw, Jodie Whittaker, Bill Nighy. I think it might be animated. I'm not certain.
I was gonna say, is this an animated film?
It doesn't say voice, so I'm. Oh, wait, there it is. It is. There are voices. Yes.
Okay.
In a different place, it just listed names. Here, I found where it listed them as voices. This is apparently an animated thing. It sounds like it's like a bunch of intertwined tales. I'm sure it all comes together at the end. But yeah, got a lot of nice people in it. But I don't know. It's a Netflix movie. We'll check it out.
It'll be one of those like oh god, what was it last year? That was Christmas that you and I were both like, this could be good, and it ended up being horrible. Ed Helms, Jennifer Gardner.
Oh, a Family Plan? No, that's
no. Family Plan was Wahlberg.
It's Family something.
Yeah, it was Family something, and it was so bad. I remember talking about that because did you watch it, or did I end up watching it and you bailed on it?
No, we both watched it because we were talking about it like that night. We're like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, I remember watching it.
I think one of us messaged each other during it. It was like,
no, that's right. No, we were watching it, but I was 20 minutes ahead of you.
Family Switch.
Family Switch. Yeah, because it was a Freaky Friday thing. I was 20 minutes ahead of you, and I remember it was like going into the third act, and Kimberly walked in, and she's like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Some movie that Brian and I thought could be funny, but it's bad." And she just sat there and watched like the last 20 shows. This is fucking awful. I go, I know, but we have to watch it. And so that's when I knew. I was like, she's going to be on the show someday. But yeah, that's this one. I don't I don't know. Maybe I gotta see a trailer. This is not really intriguing me. Like, yes, I like those names, but an animated one, I'm not.
I probably won't actually check that one out unless if I see a trailer, it looks really good, or if I hear great things, maybe. But otherwise, I personally have no interest in it. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. I know you're not a fan of it. I wouldn't be against another.
Well, you got kids in the house there and stuff, so they might be interested.
Well, no, what I was about to say is like I'm not against seeing another, not exactly this one, but like Love Actually, but like more of like a raunchy comedy Love Actually. You know, just about everyone converging on Christmas kind of thing, and you could have those names, and I'd be all for that. With you got 8 different kinds of plot points. They're all, but instead of it being like the super romantic love comedy of holiday season, have it be like the raunchy comedy kind of thing.
I don't think this is raunchy. This seems like a family thing.
No. I'm not talking about this.
If they did,
I would love to see them bring that back in some form or fashion. What else you got?
You have Night Bitch.
Yeah, I saw this. I'm not quite sure what this is, except I was like, well, that's clearly Amy Adams.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a trailer and stuff on this one. The tagline is just "Motherhood is a bitch." It says a woman thrown into the stay-at-home routine of raising a toddler in the suburbs slowly embraces the feral power deeply rooted in motherhood as she becomes increasingly aware of the bizarre and undeniable signs that she may be turning into a dog. Yeah, Amy Adams, Scoop McNairy's in this. Don't really recognize the rest of the names.
Mary Holland, I know. She was in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Mm-hmm. And it's directed by Mariela Heller, who did Can You Ever Forgive Me, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So I don't know what to think of this one.
Yeah,
it's like Amy Adams. She always does quality work, but the plot of this is, especially this time of year, you think, oh, this is Amy Adams' latest try for an Oscar, but this description does not sound like an Oscar kind of movie, so I don't know what this is.
And like you said, Amy Adams doesn't just do like she did early in her career, but nowadays she's not going to do some stupid, dumb movie. And then you also had Scoop McNairy, who I just love, and so that those two being in this make me, and it's a comedy drama horror, so I'm kind of intrigued by this. I need to see a trailer, but just from
my question is, I don't see her doing a movie like an actual werewolf or whatever movie. I almost think that this is more just like her psychological issues, but I don't know.
I mean, the horror aspect, maybe it does have that. I mean, who knows? Has Amy Adams ever done a horror? I feel like she's done at least one.
Nothing jumps to mind. I'll check it. I'm right here on the page. Let me check her.
Yeah, it's like we're on IMDb. We might as well check real quick while we're
doing I'm on Letterboxd, but close enough. Amy Adams horror movies. The only thing I have is I think it's actually a comedy. Yeah, horror comedy called Psycho Beach Party that she had a very small part in back in 2000.
Yeah, I'm running through it fast, and I am not seeing anything horror.
Yeah, I sorted.
Except she was technically in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this would be potentially her first horror film. That alone kind of makes me more intrigued to see it, because I want to see what she does with it.
If I knew it was more of a straight horror or even comedy horror or something like that, or horror thriller, but I'm worried this is gonna be more of a drama. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. What else?
And then the last one I have for that day is Y2K. Okay,
I have 2 others besides Y2K, but go ahead. Y2K. Okay.
So Y2K is one I talked about at the beginning for the anticipated for the year. But at the time I had essentially nothing but the title and the cast. We do have a trailer for this one now. This is directed by Kyle Mooney, which
to me is the one thing that'll keep me away from this fucking movie, especially since he's in this movie, because I think Kyle Mooney and this movie could save him for it. He's one of the most untalented douchebags ever in Hollywood. Anytime he popped up on SNL, I immediately wanted to change the channel. He's got the same shtick. Hey man, what up? What about that? And it's like, dude, I can't stand Kyle Mooney. Anyway, continue. So I had to get my little Kyle Mooney rant out.
Now he did write, he didn't direct, but he wrote a movie called Brigsby Bear a few years back, which actually was pretty good. I mean, the thing is, it played into him playing that kind of awkwardness that he always tries to play on SNL. The movie, I suppose probably because he wrote it, it totally played into that, and it worked for that role. I've never seen him actually direct anything, so I can't know how well he's going to do this. He does have a part in this movie too. How big, I don't know. But also has Jaden Martell, who of course we know from Stranger Things. Rachel
And
Ziegler, who's
no, not
everything
Stranger
now.
Things. Not Stranger Things. He's from
I'm
It.
sorry.
He's from It
Yeah.
and Knives Out. wrong young adults.
Close enough. Same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I always get those kids mixed up. You're right. Rachel Ziegler, who likes this kind of everything. Julian Dennison from Deadpool 2, Hunt for the Wilder People, stuff like that.
Yep.
Those are the three main ones. And it looks like it has a lot of probably cameo appearances from everybody from Mason Gooding, Alicia Silverstone's in it, Fred Durst is in it, bunch of other names. Basically, it's New Year's Eve, 1999. On the last night of 1999, two high school juniors crash a New Year's Eve party only to find themselves fighting for their lives. So this is kind of like what if everybody's fears of the Y2K thing actually happened and fucking chaos broke loose. It looks fun from the trailer. I don't know.
Yeah, no. In spite of Kyle Mooney, I loved this trailer. This looks fun as hell. You know what this movie reminded me of, which is immediately gonna go perk you up because you loved this, was Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah, I like that.
It was very much a Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse, but it's with robots and Y2K. And I had fun watching this trailer. I watched it and I immediately showed it to Kimberly and I was like, hey, check out this trailer. She wasn't into it as much as I was, but I was like, I'm actually really excited to see this movie in spite of Kyle Mooney, who I can't stand.
And if I only want to see one movie that weekend, it's probably that one. Although you have two others listed for that day, so
yeah. But I mean, if I'm going to a theater to see one, this is my go-to is Y2K. The other two I've got, this one might be theatrical, the other one might be VOD. This one was one I was talking to you about before we got on camera. It's called Getaway. This is it just says horror, so I don't know if it's comedy or if it's just straight horror. But a family's vacation to a remote getaway takes an unexpected turn when they discover the island they're on is inhabited by a serial killer. The selling
Letterboxd does say comedy horror, so
it is comedy. Then I'm more intrigued by it. The selling point for me on this, and it's the only selling point, because I look at the cast and I don't recognize anybody in the cast, is the lead, which is written and starring Nick Frost. And I'll watch anything that Nick Frost is in. I love his comedy. I love his performances. He doesn't go out there and try to put on an Oscar-worthy performance, but he is damn funny and memorable, and I always love watching him on screen. So if he is the serial killer, which if he's not, then I immediately start losing interest in the movie. I'm assuming he is. I want to see what Nick Frost is like as a serial killer. That just sounds like comedy gold for me. And, you know, we could say the same thing about Shaun of the Dead. That was relatively a no-name cast when Shaun of the Dead came out. And it's one of the, best horror comedy films ever. So not having a no-name cast with Nick Frost doesn't terrify me. He just better be the serial killer. But I don't know if this is going to be theatrical or VOD. We have not.
If it is, I'm sure it's limited. Yeah,
exactly. And the only other thing I've got is another one of those movies that sounds intriguing, and maybe this comes out another week, because the last time I brought this up, you're like, "Oh, I had this down for the following week," and that's called The Order. Do you have that down for anything?
I don't have that. I just don't know if I didn't write it down because I wasn't interested, or if I didn't write it down because I didn't have it. What's that?
I think you would be interested based off the cast. It's a crime drama thriller. A series of bank robbers and car heists frighten communities in the Pacific Northwest. A lone FBI agent believes that the crimes were not. Sorry, the thing just went added on me. An FBI agent believes that the crimes were not the work of a financial motivated criminals, but rather a group of dangerous domestic terrorists. The three main leads: Jude Law, Nicholas Hoult, and Ty Sheridan. Sheridan from Ready Player One. Mm-hmm. Also, Mark Maron. Everyone else is people I don't know, but those four people, I don't know. That looks intriguing to me. Bank robber heist movies, I like those if they're well done. The four leads, or at least three leads, and then Mark Maron. I don't know how big he's going to be in this film. That seems like an interesting film to me. Have you heard of this film at all?
I think I remember hearing about it, but I don't know a whole lot about it. I just remember when you say Jude Law and Nicholas Hoult and this crime, it sounds like I've read about it at some point, but I didn't really know much about it. But yeah, it's a limited theatrical release on that day.
Yeah, so that's all we got for the first week of December. What we got for week number 2?
Week number 2, I have 2 movies, one of which I'm really looking forward to, and one of which I don't give a shit about. And they're going to be the opposite of how everyone else feels.
Yeah, one I'm really looking forward to, and the second one I was real excited about until I saw the trailer, and I probably will still check it out at some point, but I don't really care about either.
So I'll tell you, those movies are Kraven the Hunter and Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. War of the Rohirrim, the one I don't give a shit about. Ha! So screw all the rest of you people. Yeah, so Lord of the Rings, I enjoy a lot. I think they are great movies, but I don't just love them the way some people do. But I'm interested. I know Rings of Power just came back. I haven't started watching season 2 of that yet, but I hear it's an improvement on the first season. We'll check it out. This one, I heard they're making an animated film for Lord of the Rings. But it's a different story. It's not just animating the same story we've seen. I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. And I remember seeing an original picture they put out. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting art style. But then when they actually came out with like stills and trailers for this movie, that was not the art style they're using. That was just some placeholder. It's essentially full on anime. And if you know me, you know how I feel about anime. I'm not a big fan.
We're one and the same.
I'm not a big fan of that animation style at all. And watching the trailer did not change my mind at all. It's a lot of like still frame with just mouths moving and things like that. When the things are animated, I don't think it's done that impressively. I think a lot of the dialogue kind of sounds like people recording dialogue as if it was dubbed from another language, even though in this case it's not. And so there's definitely an audience out there that wants to see this. There's an audience out there that loves this. There's people that are just like, oh my gosh, Lord of the Rings and anime. How can you get a better movie than that? Not for me. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I am one of the people that love Lord of the Rings. I like The Hobbit and I like Rings of Power. So when I heard we were getting another Lord of the Rings movie, I was like, yay, animated. Okay. And then I saw the same images you saw and I was like, less excited. Then I saw the trailer and I'm like, no excitement whatsoever. It's Lord of the Rings. I will probably still check it out in some form or fashion just because it's still Lord of the Rings. But it's going to be one of those things where I'm like forcing myself to check it out because it's Lord of the Rings. But if I'm not intrigued after the first 20 minutes, I might just shut it off. I am not an anime person, but I will say this. Speaking of anime, they just released the new series of Terminator. And it is anime looks like on Netflix, but it's like R-rated anime. So I might check that one out because that actually looked intriguing. And
I'm tempted, so I'll let you check that one out and let me know if I should watch it because I'm tempted just because I do love Terminator, but
it's got our boy Timothy Olyphant voicing in it, and that right there is enough for me to want to go, okay, if Timothy Olyphant's doing it, I want to see what this is. Hopefully he's got like a good sized vocal part for that. But they dropped the first season of that, so I'm gonna check. I think it's Terminator Net Zero, Terminator Zero, or something like that. But so yeah, it's just if there's an anime out there, it's not something that Brian and I are really gonna go gung ho. I mean, we thought Nimona looked like shit, and Nimona was like our number 1 movie of the year last year. We didn't like how the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie looked last year. We loved that. Those weren't animated though, but this, it's just. It'd be one thing if it looked anime, but then the trailer looked awesome. But the trailer didn't look awesome. The trailer, honestly, was boring as we were watching it, on top of it being anime. So it really didn't move the needle for us, which was barely being moved at all. So this is definitely not one that we're going to be checking out. Do not expect a review for this. It might be something that might come across on like Movie Crusaders chat about. We're like, yeah, if I checked it out, it's okay. kind of thing. But Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter. If there has been a movie that Brian and I want to champion more than Twisters or The Fall Guy this year, it's Kraven the Hunter.
Not saying we think it's our second favorite movie of the year, but the one we want to champion because people are not expecting great things of it. Yes.
We want this movie to do so well. And we're not even talking about box office. We just want it to not suck for 2 reasons. 1, it fucking actually looks really cool. 2, it's got our boy Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I guess is not going to be Bond now for some reason because they still haven't Like nothing happened with that.
Well, it was never an official thing. It was still just a rumor, but it's a rumor that just kind of disappeared. So no one's come out and said it's not happening, but no one's confirmed it is happening. So
exactly. Look, the non-Spider-Man Sony films, they all suck. Madam Web, worst film of the year. Morbius, Brian will champion it a little bit, but it fucking sucks. The Venom movies, not funny, not fun at all. They're overrated pieces of shit. Kraven the Hunter, though, I so badly want to be good. Russell Crowe, we like Russell Crowe. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson looks fucking great in this. And the trailers look good for what they were, but it's Sony Spider-Man, not Spider-Man film. So it's got a lot to work towards to get people to probably, especially after Madam Web this year. It's going to have a lot of people probably going to go, I'm not going to watch that, and have to have people go, no, it's actually really good. Or it could suck just as bad. Brian and I are so badly hope. If there's one movie that we really don't want to suck this year, we don't even have to necessarily like it. We just don't want it to not. We just don't want it to suck. It's this movie because we don't want this to derail Aaron Taylor Johnson's career. He was great in Fall Guy, and he needs a big win.
Bullet Train, he was great in that
Bullet
one.
Train. He was really good in Godzilla, even though you didn't like that movie that much.
He's great in everything he does. I love him in Kick-Ass movies. I was really impressed with him in a movie called Savages with him and
he was good in Savages.
Who was the other
guy? John Carter.
Taylor
Carter. Yes, Taylor Kitsch.
The two of them and Blake Lively were in that movie, and that's probably the closest role actually to Kraven, I think, because he had kind of that, but although he was actually he was the calm one, he was the Zen one. But I loved him in that movie. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's a great actor. And this movie is the only reason that I hope Venom: The Last Dance or whatever it's called is good, because
Madam Web give momentum,
because Madam Web sucked. Venom was out in October, I think it is. If Venom sucks, people are not even going to give this one a chance. If Venom is good and they're like, oh, okay, maybe they can still make good movies in this universe, maybe they'll give this one a chance. But if Venom sucks, I have a feeling this one's going to nobody's going to go see this movie.
This also has your girl. There's also Ariana DeBose in it. Yeah.
Who again, she's in 7 movies this year apparently. So yeah, but
we both want this movie to do so well. It's not even to the point that we're excited to see it anymore. We just want it to not suck. If it's a solid 3-star film, that's a fucking win. We wanted it to be probably at least a 3.5-star, 4-star film. But if it's a 3, I'm gonna take the W and walk away with.
I mean, I expect to still like it. Everything because I still wanted to like it, but was not necessarily optimistic. Until I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, I think they found the right tone and everything. So I actually do expect it to be good. But like you said,
it was more just the random pushing it all the way off, and then they pushed it to December, which is like, fucking why? Why are we dumping this in this? Why are we dumping it in December? Is it a dump, or is it because you guys are really?
Well, it's supposed to come out last year. Then it was supposed to come out was it January, February? Then it was moved to October, and then it was moved to December. And it's like, okay,
yeah. So it's like. But it's like, why would you dump it in December of all places? That's the part that makes no sense to me.
Well, I don't remember the exact movie, but I think the reason it got moved actually had an explanation. Something else that was going to come out in December moved, and so the studio wanted to move another big movie to that spot.
Well, okay, because part of me is like, if you want to dump it, then push to January. We know we kind of have a good idea of, oh shit, it's not going to be good. But if you're going to dump it literally within 10 days of Christmas, I would think it can't be that bad.
Yeah, because usually they want to put out their big movies that people will go see during the Christmas season.
Especially when...
And honestly, as we get into the rest of this month, you'll see, I mean, there's a couple of big kids movies, but there's not a whole lot of big movies at all coming out.
Exactly. This one's probably
weak.
The 3rd or 4th biggest movie of December that we know of as of right now, not counting your potential Oscar baity movies that we still really don't have a whole lot on. So I would feel that they put it in this place because, like I said, Lord of the Rings animated film is not going to contend with it on that weekend. The weekend before, the closest thing that's going to contend is Y2K. Now, granted, the next week it's going to get demolished by the 2 films that come out next weekend or the next weekend. But I can't think that they would have dropped it here for it to be bad, unless they're thinking, hey, it's not great, but what else are people going to see that weekend? We'll make some money because there's nothing else out. Then I can see them doing that. But God, I hope it's decent. Anyway,
it was
now
Karate Kid, by the way. It was the new Karate Kid movie that was going to release, move to next year. So
oh yeah, that's right. Did they even? I don't even know if they've even finished casting that. They started shooting that yet?
I do not know.
Yeah, I don't know if they've even shot that yet. Anyway, going to December 20th, we've got basically the 2 big Christmas movies for families. We've got Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which that's another one that's just like a shocking, like, really, we're dropping Sonic at Christmas? Like that, these release dates in December make no fucking sense to me.
Well, and you're dropping Sonic at Christmas, and you're dropping it against a known juggernaut coming out the same day, which we'll get to later. It's like, is this the smartest move? I don't know.
Yeah, but
now,
Grant, hold on now. Just a brief history of Sonic. I played Sonic when I was a kid. I love Sonic. When they announced Sonic, I watched Sonic the TV series when I was a kid. When they announced Sonic the movie, and we got Ugly Sonic, which granted became a great joke later in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. But they fixed Sonic. The first movie was solid. It was like, oh, well, okay, well, this is actually good. Jim Carrey's back to being crazy Jim Carrey. He's found his wheelhouse again. He looks to be having fun. Sonic 2, they went a little more kiddie with it. Didn't like it nearly as much as the first one, but it was fine. Then they came out with Knuckles, the TV series. It's very cringy, but I kind of knew what I was walking into. Sonic 3, though. This movie actually looks fucking like really good for a Sonic movie. Did you watch the trailer for this?
No.
Okay.
I never saw the second movie.
So Shadow is another hedgehog. He's like the evil of the evil hedgehogs, voiced by Keanu Reeves. So Keanu Reeves is the bad guy in this. He's a badass Sonic. Jim Carrey's playing 2 roles. He's playing Robotnik and he's playing his dad in this. So you're getting a duo, Jim Carrey in this. You get Keanu Reeves' Shadow. It's got a darker tone to this. It feels like kind of almost like an All Bets Are Off kind of Sonic film. This one, I'm not in terms of being scary, but it just feels a lot more action heavy, a lot more adult in a way, like not super kiddie like it was with the second film. This Sonic 3 actually looks like okay. This is the Sonic movie I was looking for. Like, first Sonic movie was very much like a boy and his alien or a boy and his dog road trip. The second one was just like, hey, we just made a lot of money, but we need more kids into this. Let's do a stupid dance dance battle thing with songs that were good 10 years ago. And oh yeah, let's bring that. Let's focus on the one character that no one fucking gave a shit about in the first film and give her like 15-minute subplot that has nothing to do with the fucking film. But Sonic 3 actually looks really, really good. I watched the trailer with like, okay, let's watch this. And I was like, damn, am I excited for Sonic 3? Fuck, I'm excited for Sonic 3. And I even said this, what was it, it was either last episode of Chat About or the episode before that, when they released the trailer for the other film that we're about to talk about. I said, if I got to choose between that movie and Sonic 3, and this was before I saw the Sonic 3 trailer, I was like, I'm going to pick Sonic 3. I'm 1,000% going to see Sonic 3 before I see the other movie. And that other movie is Mufasa the Lion King. We talked about this on Chat About. Like I said, it was either last episode or the episode before. Yes, the new Lion King made over $1 billion. Why? Because everyone wanted to see what the Lion King looked like with realism and all that bullshit. Guess what? It wasn't good. I have not heard of anyone who went and saw this new Lion King and A, claimed they liked it better than the original, or B, really liked it at all, other than just saying it was fine, but it wasn't as good as I hoped, or it wasn't as good as the original. This time we're going with a prequel route. We're going with the story of Mufasa and Scar, which I think was his name, Taka or something in this, before he's Scar. This is basically the story of how Mufasa became king and stuff. So basically, we got the young cubs, and then he's gonna grow up. But it sounds like more they're telling the story of it because I was like, how the fuck is Timon and Pumbaa in this movie? Because they're bringing back them, and it sounds like they're basically just sitting around.
My guess is, my guess, I mean, I haven't seen the film, of course, is that it's like maybe they're like the narrators of it. Maybe the movie starts out,
no, it's
and they're like
the way
telling
the
the story.
trailer, the way the trailer's giving it off is Simba and all of them are all hanging out, and Rafiki is going back and telling them the story of Mufasa.
Oh, okay.
And so they'll intercut, Donald Glover, Simba, and I'm blanking on Seth Rogen and
Beyonce.
Who played Timon?
Billy Eichner.
Billy Eichner. They'll intercut them in between the movie to probably lighten it up or just say, hey, look, it's the people it's the original Lion King people, even though they have no fucking reason to be in this movie. If they can make the eyes look better than they did in the last one, this has potential. This has a chance to be decent. Lin-Manuel Miranda's doing the music for this. That's definitely a plus. The one song I heard in the trailer, though, did not sound good at all.
Well, Lin-Manuel Miranda also wrote what is considered the worst new song of the Little Mermaid movie. So,
yes, that was the worst fucking part of that whole fucking movie.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I heard nothing but
Scuttlebug, or Scuttlebutt, or something like that. Oh my! I wanted to. If I could throw something at the theater when I was in there, I would have during that scene. That was like one of the worst scenes of the year. But the whole problem with the Lion King was the eyes. They were doll eyes. Like
I don't think the eyes were the problem with that movie. I think it's like
there was no emotion in the entire film, and that's what made the Lion King so great. Was the emotion?
The first problem with the Lion King is that it had no reason to exist. And it's like,
well, besides that, but yeah,
you already have the movie, and it's not even a live action remake of this. It's a different style of animation remake of it. It's not.
Which won the Oscar. Did it win the fucking Oscar? No, or didn't it lose the Spider-Verse?
It lost the Spider-Verse.
Thank you. I was gonna say, I was like, this motherfucker should not win animated. It
is animated though. It's lifelike animation, but it's still animation. I'd certainly rather. I don't want people to consider live action because it's not.
It's a bullshit.
But my thing is,
category.
That movie, the movie to me had no reason to exist. Mufasa, when I heard about it, I'm like, okay, I don't want a sequel to The Lion King because I didn't like that Lion King. I thought it was horrible. But this one at least feels like it has a reason to exist. It was telling a new story. It's giving us, kind of like some of these other films do, where it's like, okay, we're taking the story we know and telling like the backstory to it or how we got to where we are. In this case, Mufasa's story, how he got to where he was and became the king that we know from The Lion King.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm at least more interested than I was in The Lion King, the new version of it. So I'll check it out. They cast a lot of great people in it, as well as, a few Nepo babies like Blue Ivy Carter, Beyonce's kid.
Who doesn't sing in the movie, which pissed off a lot of people. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Like, I want to hear her sing. I don't want to hear Beyonce sing either.
Yeah. Just because Beyonce can sing doesn't mean she can.
But she can't. Well, yeah. She can. I just don't like her. But my thing is like, but then I saw the trailer for it, and my at least somewhat interest in it is gone. I don't care about this movie. I'm probably not going to see this movie. Lin-Manuel Miranda, yes, wrote songs for it, but like I said, for as much as we loved songs in the Heights and Hamilton and things like that, and even like Moana and some other ones, he's also written stuff like the stuff from Little Mermaid. So I'll wait to hear them before I pass judgment on those songs. But I'm just not interested.
I will see this. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters. It could be something that we wait and talk about in 2025 when it drops on Disney Plus. Who knows? It depends on how busy I am that week. And I work retail. So the chances are I'm going to be fucking busy. So it'll be hard up probably trying to get to see Sonic 3 that week. But yeah, those are the two big dogs. The only other things I'm seeing on the 20th is there's a Netflix movie called The 6888, which has Kerry Washington. It's about like there's like the first World War II Women's Brigade or something like that. I watched the trailer for it. It's got Susan Sarandon, Dean Morris, Oprah Winfrey's in it. If it's got good word of mouth, I'll probably check this out at some point. especially if it becomes like an Oscar favorite or
Yeah,
something like
this looks
that.
like an Oscar baity kind of movie. Although
It's
the
also
thing that's
written and directed by Tyler Perry, but it's
that's
a
what I just saw, and it killed my interest in it.
serious. It kind of did too for me.
I was
A
like,
serious Tyler Perry movie, and I don't know if I want a serious Tyler
which
Perry.
I will say,
I don't want Tyler Perry movie in general, but
I will say when Tyler Perry has been in like Star Trek, or he was in that Alex Cross movie and things like that, I definitely like him more than in like his Medea stuff and comedies.
He was also good in Gone Girl for the small part he had in that.
But as far as his directing, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. The Room Next Door comes out. I think that's an Oscar baity movie. I really don't know nothing about it. I just know it's got Julianne Moore and Tilda Swinton.
That's totally Oscar baity cast.
Oh, it's 100% Oscar baity. I don't really know anything about it, but it's an Oscar bait film if I've ever seen one. And what is this? There's another movie.
It's a Pedro Almodovar film about the rift between Martha, a very imperfect mother and war correspondent, and a resentful daughter, as well as their former relationship with an author, Ingrid. Ooh, this sounds boring. This is just an Oscar bait movie. Anyway.
Okay, this I think either I've had a fever dream and I saw this trailer, or I'm just reading it and it all just sounds like stuff I've already seen. There's also a movie called Baby Girl that comes out. It's got Nicole Kidman, Harris Dickinson, Antonio Banderas. It's a crime mystery thriller. A high-powered CEO puts her career and family on the line when she begins a torrid affair with a much younger intern. Maybe I'm thinking of Family Affair, but not funny with this because it's Nicole Kidman hooking up with a younger man.
Yeah, he was one of the Von Erich brothers, right? In Iron Claw.
Yes, he was. Was he? No, he wasn't Carrie Von Erich. He was. He was the first Von Erich.
Here it is. He was David. Yeah.
David Von Erich. Yeah. He was David Von Erich.
But I mean, Nicole, I like. Antonio, I like. I don't know a whole lot about this. It's supposed to be kind of like an erotic thriller kind of movie. Not like the Basic Instinct level, but
just to come out right for Christmas. That's the Christmas movie. But yeah, that's everything on the 20th. Then you got Christmas Day. There's nothing coming out after Christmas Day, at least according to my release date. Do you have anything after Christmas Day?
No, because they come out with any of them for Christmas week. They come out on Christmas Day, and then the next week it'll be into January. So
yeah, so I've got at least
two.
Yeah, I'm trying. There's a third one listed here. I'm trying to see if it's anything. No, it's not. Well, it is. It might be. It's either an Oscar baity film or it's a movie that no one talks about. But it's called The Fire Inside. It's the story of Clarissa T-Rex Shields, a boxer from Flint, Michigan, who trained to become the first woman in her country's history to win an Olympic gold medal in the sport. Barry Jenkins wrote it, so I'm assuming it's an Oscar baity film. I'm not Brian Tyree Henry's in it.
Judy Greer's in it.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing much other people that are at least sticking out to me that I know, which once again, not necessarily a negative. It looks like a younger cast of people that I have not seen. But that's what's coming out on Christmas Day. So that's because Barry Jenkins is in it. This is probably Oscar baity. And then of course you got the two actual, big name films that we've already heard about coming out on Christmas Day. First one is The Complete Unknown. Brian has zero interest in seeing this film, which is weird because once again, I wouldn't consider it a musical. It's a musical biopic.
It's a music film. It's not a musical.
It's a music film, but I mean, there's going to be performances in it.
Well, my thing is it's Bob Dylan music, who I don't really like Bob Dylan.
I don't like
starring Timothy Chalamet, who I don't really care about Timothy Chalamet. So
okay. I don't like Bob Dylan. When his songs come on, I immediately start eye twitching. Like that's what he sounds like to me. He sounds annoying as fuck. But Timothy Chalamet has won me over the last year with Wonka and Dune, both Dunes. He's won me over. So I am intrigued to check out this to see how he.
I like Timothy Chalamet when he's having fun, when he's trying to be all brooding and soft, which is probably what Bob Dylan movie will be.
Probably what it's going to be. I like Edward Norton. Elle Fanning's in this. Boyd Holbrook I like. And he's playing Johnny Cash in this. So I actually kind of want to see what Boyd Holbrook does with Johnny Cash. Dan Fogler is someone I like. Scoot McNairy is in this as well. And the other big reason is the director, which is James Mangold. And I know you're going to go, the guy who did the last Indiana Jones movie? Yes, but he also did fucking Logan and Ford Ferrari and all these other great films that I love.
And to go with this one, he did Walk the Line. So there you go.
He also did Walk the Line. So, he's one of my favorite directors in Hollywood today. So, in spite of Bob Dylan, I do want to see this movie because of everything around Bob Dylan in this film and not Bob Dylan himself in the fucking film. And then the last movie to talk about is the one that I am probably the most intrigued by that comes out in December, and that is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I know you're not the biggest Robert Eggers fan.
Well, I've not really liked a lot of his films, although
he's only done three. He's only done three, so this is
but the Northman, though, I actually did enjoy, and I didn't love it like you did, but I thought that was actually a good film.
Yeah, the Northman was great. Lighthouse, I thought was really well done. It's not something I would rewatch, because it's one of those like watch it one time. Wow, I'm glad I watched that. I don't ever want to see it again, kind of thing. His directing style is just constantly about trying to just make you feel uneasy and uncomfortable. And Nosferatu is kind of like perfect for him to do this. And the cast he's got with him, he's got Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, our boy. So he's got 2 movies in December. Ralph Ensign, who I actually think is a criminally underrated actor.
A great voice, by the way.
Oh yes, a phenomenal voice. The first trailer was very much just quick snips and stuff like that. So I'm sure we're gonna get another trailer here very soon. I'm super fucking intrigued by this film. I hope it's right, just like every other Robert Eggers film, but I hope it hits that next level with this because it's Nosferatu. I want this movie to do well awards-wise. I know you don't give a shit about awards anymore, but I actually do really want this to be an awards juggernaut going into the awards season. I want this to do well. I really do.
I hope to like it because I do like the cast, especially Bill Skarsgård needs this to be good. Because I like Bill Skarsgård. I mean, he was in like John Wick Chapter 4. He's done some other great movies, but he was good in Barbarians, things like that. But this year for him, he's had Boy Kills World, which I enjoyed, but it wasn't great. And a lot of people really didn't like it. And then there was The Crow, which we know how that's going over. And so he needs this one to be good.
Yeah, Bill needs a W because he is taking hits left and right. The last good thing he was in was John Wick Chapter 4. Bill needs a dub. He needs a dub bad. But yeah, that's the rest of the year. I'm sure there's going to be some that are going to sneak in that we have not.
I'll tell you one that stuck in. Clearly, I have a different shirt. We had to break between filming. There's one that finally got a date today after we filmed last night. The Apprentice, which is a movie about Donald Trump and his kind of rise to power, starring Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump and I forgot her name from the Borat movie. Maria
Bach. The one who plays his daughter?
Yeah, who plays his wife, Ivanka Trump. Maria.
No, I'm talking about Borat's daughter.
Yes.
Okay,
Ivana, something like that. But
I'm saying Ivana because Ivana Trump.
Yeah, this is Ivanka Trump. This is his ex-wife, the mother.
I'll pull it up real quick.
This one, it's one that's not going to paint Donald Trump in a good light, I'm sure. Sebastian Stan, I really like, and he looks just from the looks of it, he makes a good Donald Trump. I just wanted to say that one finally got a date. That one's coming October 11th.
Maria Bakalova.
Okay.
Yeah, Maria Bakalova. Yeah, I saw a picture of this. I have no fucking interest in watching this movie.
I want to see it just because it'll probably make Donald Trump look bad, which makes me happy. So.
We can only hope. To a point.
I mean, he already makes himself look bad, so whatever.
I mean, he doesn't really need help. Just much like was it in September, the Vince McMahon documentary is dropping on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun, and because Vince did not give his okay for this, and so this is gonna be an interesting documentary to watch. It's like a 6-part documentary, and I'm actually super fucking intrigued to watch it. So that is 2020. The rest of 2024. What would you say are your most anticipated films of the year? I've got a good list here. We talked about everything, but what are the ones that are sticking out to you as the ones that you are most excited to watch or see?
Well, I've got there's a good number that I'm anticipating. I mean, there's ones like Y2K, Back in Action, which I still want to see a trailer for that one. That's the Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx one. Red One could go either way. Killer's Game, I hope to like. So I'm kind of anticipating that one, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But other than that, there's kind of I guess 6 main ones that I'm mostly anticipating. I have Terrifier 3, which I still have high hopes for. Like I said, I feel like it might disappoint, but I'm still anticipating
At
it.
least
Because
you and I are both going into that expecting to be disappointed, which is only going to work out in our favor if it's better.
But we're also not expecting it to be like a great film. It's good. This is the kind of film that embraces what it is. Like, people are coming to watch campy, gory, super gory horror, and it'll deliver on that level. So it knows what it is. It's not trying to aspire to be more.
Yeah.
So look forward to that one. Wolves, the one with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, directed by John Watts. Craven the Hunter. And then my top 3 are Wicked at 3, Gladiator 2 at 2, and actually Saturday Night has become my number 1 most anticipated film of the fall.
Yeah, I've got a longer list here. I'm not gonna say everything, but just stuff that has immediately piqued my interest. Movies that are, like I said, not big names. Werewolves, if that actually comes out. The Order, Brothers, Heretic, just because of Hugh Grant. Never Let Go, especially after that latest trailer. I'm intrigued by that. Conclave, Monster Summer, Wolves, just like you. Moana 2, because, like I said, I liked Moana. I want to see what they do with the sequel. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, 100% after that first trailer. Definitely Nosferatu. Beetlejuice, first one of the new summer, the rest of the fall. Red One, it can go either way, but I definitely want to see what happens with it. Much like you, also Wicked and Y2K and Craven the Hunter and Terrifier 3. Transformers 1 is my number 4. I'm holding out hope that this movie is as good as I hope it's going to be in my head. Joker, Full Ado. I got to see what they do with this movie. I'm super intrigued by that. And then my number 2, Saturday Night, and my number 1, Gladiator 2. So we're both our 1 and 2. They're flipped, but we have the same 2 that we're most excited for. But yeah, what are your guys' anticipated films for the rest of the year? What movies have stood out to you? Are there some movies that we missed? Is there some? Brian and I were looking off 2 different lists. He said some things that I didn't have on my list. I said some things that he didn't have on his list. Is there something else that you guys have heard that's coming out this year that we did not hear about? Let us know in the comments below. But let us know what you think of the rest of 2024. What's going to be your standouts? What do you hope is good? What do you hope fails? Like Mufasa. Shit. Let us know.
We're hoping against things.
Yes, we want things to be bad. And hopefully, are you guys on the side of us? Do we want Craven the Hunter to be good? Please say you do. Our boy Aaron Taylor Johnson needs a win on top of Nosferatu, because we know that's probably going to be good. Just really weird, probably. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, go and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay always up to date with what pops up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, you have to follow us on all the social media I'll see below. Out right now, Brian and I go over the summer movie season where we talk about some of the best films, our disappointments, what the box office was right about, wrong about, and what you people fucked up on this summer by not watching in theaters. That's out right now. Coming up next, like I said, the first movie of the new fall season, Beetlejuice comes out next Friday. We will definitely have a review of that on the channel, whether it's just me and Brian, or maybe me and Kimberly. She says she wants to start getting up on the channel, so I might pop her on here. We might talk about Beetlejuice. But we definitely will have that on here sometime next week. And then, of course, Brian and I will be on for Movie Crusaders chat about whenever we have enough to talk about on the show. Maybe once we both watch Rings of Power Season 2, maybe we'll talk about the first few episodes. Obviously, Jurassic World, they just dropped the plot synopsis and the title, and we have thoughts about that, but we're not going to just do a whole episode talking about Jurassic World. We could, but we're not going to. But we will definitely be back for more. We hope you guys stick around with us. But until next time, we are the Movie Crusaders. I'm Sean Waskrug. That is Brian Michaels. Until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch the movies and go have some fun.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.